Haven't set up the green screen yet, but we are. We'll have the green screen up soon. Now I got to figure out what my login is for. I don't even know what my login is, Jen. Jen, just message me. We just won't have Discord up today. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what my login is for Discord. It's saved on my computer. Let me try one more time to pull up the app. Has anybody ever had, like, when you pull up Discord, you just get a gray screen? Has that happened to anybody? It's bizarre. Never had this happen before. It's just completely gray. So probably need to uninstall it and reinstall it. No. How about them, Cowboy? Hey, what's up?
Go to your desktop or like just a main desktop and do, I think it's Control-Alt-Delete. And go to, and then click Task Manager.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And then look under your apps, under that section, and anything that's Discord, click on it and hit End Task.
Yeah, none of that's
If you've
happening.
got a bunch of them.
There's no Discord.
If you scroll down into them, because this has happened to me before, if you end the tasks in here, you'll be able to reopen it.
If I go down to background processes, but on apps, their Discord's not even up.
Is there under processes? Yeah, go into, that's what I'm talking about when I mean that.
Oh, okay.
And then under back, anything that says Discord and the tasks.
Crazy.
So do that and close any of them that are open in there. And then once you close them out, you can close this and you should be able to open up the browser.
Guys, if you guys are new here, this is a new segment we're doing called Tech Support.
With people.
It's really terrific. All right, let me see if that fixed it. Just we're role playing right now. We're pretending that I don't know what I'm doing here, so that all of you can have an opportunity. All right, let's see if that worked. Crazy. All right, now we're good. Thank you.
Morgan?
Move some screens over. All right, thanks, Jen.
Yep.
Now I got to rearrange my screens again. There we go. Boom. All right, shout out Jen. Tech support Jen wins. Jen with the tech support W for the morning. Can you imagine if you called tech support and you got me? Oh, that would be devastating. That would be the worst. I don't think you recover. I'm not sure anybody recovers from that. I wouldn't. I rarely recover from my own attempts at tech support. Well, I had a hang up and call back. That's what you do. Had a great weekend this last weekend. Sunday met Jasmine Crockett, except for didn't meet Jasmine Crockett. Jesus, what is going on with the guest request today? Guys, if you're in the guest request and you're not opposition, go ahead and hop out. Otherwise, you can stay in. Like, we may get right to the guest request right as we get going. I see Angie dropping out. I know Sure Winner. What's up, Sure Winner?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, not a lot. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Look, yeah, I don't know. Like, what are you going to sort of talk about? Do you reckon, if Trump ends up winning?
Well, I mean, you can stick around if you want to hear the stories I'm going to talk about today. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, well, just stick around. You can watch it.
So, like, I guess sort of what I'm asking is, like, what are your stances on, like, other things? Like,
it's hard to tell what you're talking about, if we're being honest. Stances on other things. I'm pro 49ers. They're not very good.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, that's my football team. So.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I mean, I guess, like, myself, I guess I'm sort of, like, I guess pro-life, or pro-choice, but anti-abortion on that thing.
Excuse me. So you're pro-choice, but not if that choice includes having an abortion?
Well, no, I do think abortion should be allowed for a certain time.
How much time?
I think what it is at the moment, it's like 24 weeks in Australia, so I think that's a pretty good time.
Well,
Give
there you go.
Women a chance to be able to get an abortion.
Cool.
And then I guess like I'm capitalist, or believe in capitalism, not communism. So that's the other thing.
Cool.
Would you say that you're a communist, like believe in that kind of thing?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
I think anybody who is one way or the other, I think that there's going to be glaring holes in how you actually apply their principles. If you apply just all the principles of capitalism, you're going to leave people hanging. If you apply just the principles of communism, you're probably going to leave people hanging. Either system is corruptible by a corrupt leader. So I'm far more. I guess I care a lot more about like who the leaders are, how the leaders are leading, what checks and balances we have on those leaders.
Yeah, like a good democratic government would, be great. Really, it's like there aren't that many, still sort of left around. Like a lot of countries have burnt down to the ground, like over.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
To talk about, is it either Trump or Kamala?
No, I think what you're doing right now is you're saying that the people who are really in power as a way to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is a piece of shit. This is kind of what like you right wingers do, especially the ones from like not from America. If we criticize Donald,
what I'm saying, I'm not right winger or left winger.
yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. But let me finish that sentence. You guys always you do this. If there's criticism that levied at Donald Trump, you guys fall back. You retreat to this both sidesism, but then you'll spend all of your time criticizing those on the left. You guys are unable to criticize or even look critically at what's happening on the right. If you're talking about Kamala, you never fall back to the both sidesism. But as soon as we bring up Trump, you always fall back to the both sides thing.
That's wrong. So I do more so look at the benefits of politics rather than the negatives. I do think that they're both
benefits of politics. What does that even mean, dude?
The benefits of politics, of democracy and
well, politics don't have to be democracy, right?
Oh, so what would they be? Communists?
But yeah, do you know? Yeah, politics is yeah. Do you think politics is only in democracy?
Anyway, what I was sort of saying was,
No, see, this is that thing you're doing that I said before. When you get stuck, you just like you leave it. When something becomes uncomfortable, you take off. Yeah, like it's the activities. It's basically like what the government does, and then it's specifically like and how you debate those policies amongst each other. So it doesn't have to just be. It doesn't have to just be in a democracy. It could be the politics of your HOA.
Well, what's HOA?
Oh yeah, homeowners association.
Oh, okay, yeah. So politics in a political sense and politics in a societal sense also, yeah, sure. But those societal politics would be dependent upon, political politics.
And
government.
Anyways, what was your point?
Yeah. So, I was just gonna say, like, I think both parties, this would probably be my only, criticism of it. It would be that both parties, tend to want the same results and outcomes to occur, but one party would generally spend more money in trying to make this happen quicker than the other party.
And I think that's not true.
Difference.
Yeah, but that's not true.
That's the only real difference.
But statistically, that's not true. So that's not really the difference.
Right,
like with all due respect, I just sure. I don't want to give you all this time on this platform all the time. Your understanding of American politics is silly.
American politics works exactly like Australian politics.
You think, yeah, but you don't even understand. You don't even understand. Excuse me. You don't even understand what each of these two major parties want. You have no idea. When I say
do, because
American,
both
oh,
of our-
well, then you just said that one party, they both want the same thing, but one party's going to spend more to get there. Who's that party?
that would be the left side.
Well, then how come the right how come Trump outspent Obama?
In what?
How'd that happen? In spending, sir.
Probably, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to stop wars.
Oh, maybe the lie that you've been sold that the left spends more than the right is wrong. What the right
So-
does is while they're spending money, they also cut taxes, so they dry up our revenue streams at the same time. So we bring in less
Oh,
money and we spend more. That's what the right does. What the left does is we still spend more, but we also raise taxes to try to pay for some of that spending. That's the main difference
still
between the two.
spend more.
That's the main difference between the two.
The left still spends more.
No, they
is what you
don't.
just said.
No, they don't.
That's what you literally just said.
Not more than the right.
But you said even we still spend more. I'm guessing.
Yeah, because
you're referring
spending
to
has
the
been
left.
going up since 1990, like since the 90s. It's just been on this.
Why did
On
you
this.
say that?
Why did I say what?
Why do we spend? Like you said, why? Well, you said we spend more.
Yeah, because what you said is that the left spends more money, and so that would be more than what? If you say the left spends more, if you said it's more
Right.
than well, that's wrong.
Then why did you say the left spends
Because
more?
they spend more, like they're spending more money. Like we have an amount of money that we were spending and we spend more, and that's been going up. Every president spends more.
I think you're confusing yourself, man.
I'm not, brother. You don't understand it. Like if the spending graph goes straight up like that, right? If it's going up here and you're in the middle of the graph, then the people after you spent more, right? And the people before you spent less. But all along that graph, we've had Republicans and Democrats, and it's just been going up. So neither party is spending more than the other. One party is just saying like, hey, when we spend more money, we're also going to cut revenues. We're going to cut taxes at that same time, and it fucks us. It's why we had a housing collapse in 2008. It's
was
why we
because
had
of,
problems coming out of
COVID.
2008 was
2008.
because of
2008,
COVID.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think each year more money will be spent.
That's what I
by
just
each
said,
party
bud.
that's in power. But generally speaking, the left will spend more money.
Yeah, but generally speaking, that's incorrect.
Well, you even stated that the left spends more money.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think you've kind of skipped over what you said, but we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, so both our country's politics work the exact
I don't know
same.
shit about your
Both-
country's politics, to be honest. I have no idea.
Okay, they both work the same.
We're
the
just talking about
political-
American politics today. So what do you want to talk about
Okay,
specifically?
so I guess you were trying to say because I'm not American, I don't understand how politics.
No,
works
I'm
and
literally.
how
I'm
government works.
actually saying I don't understand anything about your politics, and
Well,
I'm
it's
not
the exact
interested.
same
And
as
I'm not
America.
interested in that right now. Well, you don't seem to
exact
understand
same as
American politics. I have this sneaking suspicion in Australia that Australians are also like, yeah, he's dumb here too. I think people probably think that you're uneducated, both
Sounds like
on
you're projecting,
Australian
man.
and
Sounds like
American
you're
politics.
projecting.
I talk to Americans all the time who don't understand what's happening
Americans
here.
are generally
Specifically,
pretty-
specifically right wingers. The people who are least likely to understand what's happening in America are people on the right.
Yeah, look, Americans are generally,
I don't care.
probably less intelligent than British people.
Anything else, Sherwinner?
Yeah, look, so
Yeah, get back
Your
on that
country
script.
has-
Get back to the script real quick. Find your spot.
country
Use your
has, like-
finger. Follow along. Which
So
paragraph
you're-
is this one?
I'm just what?
Which paragraph is this so I can follow along?
Yeah, so your Democrats would be our Liberal Party.
I
and
don't
your
care. How many
Republicans.
times do I have to tell you I'm not talking Australian
You're
politics
just
with you? I don't
equating
care.
The governments and how
Yeah,
they
but I
work
don't
and
care. Yeah, but
explaining
remember I
how
told
they
you I
work
didn't care?
exactly the same.
Remember earlier when I said I don't care? That means let's
Okay,
talk about
well,
something else.
all right,
Appreciate
then
it.
just-
Thank you.
I guess understand that I know how politics works in
You
your country
don't.
because
You
it
don't know
works-
how it works in our country. If you understand
I
it in your
do,
country,
because it
that's
works the
fine. You should
exact
take it up with
same
an
as it
Australian.
does in
Well, then if
Australia.
it doesn't, obviously, because
It
if you
does,
think
and
because you
look,
don't
let's
know what.
talk
All right,
about
sure.
why-
I'm about done
why
with you.
think that.
I'm about done with you. You have anything else? You've brought nothing
Like-
to this discussion. You're just annoying at this point. You're literally just speaking in generalities for no reason. You're
Why
just
don't
a
you
right.
think it
You're just
doesn't
a
work
right
the
winger.
same?
You
And I'll
pretend
try
you're
and
in the
help you
middle.
understand why
You
it
show up
does.
every
Why
single
don't you
time.
think it?
What's
Why
that?
don't you think? Why don't you think it doesn't work the same? And I'll help you
I
explain. Help you understand
don't.
why it does. And I'll explain
I
to you why.
I don't care. You're wrong
Okay,
about
so now you're
American
being
politics,
stubborn.
so I don't care what you think about Australian politics. I don't think you're very good at this.
You don't care what I think about Australian politics,
Correct.
or I don't care what I think about
I don't
Australian
care
politics.
what you think about Australian politics. I barely care what you think about American politics.
Okay, well, as long as you understand that both systems work the same.
I don't think you
governments actually
understand.
work
You
the
don't
same.
understand ours, so you keep making this
It's a
jump.
democracy. Both
All
work
right.
the same in a
All
democracy.
right, brother. Anything else before I kick you?
Nah, that's it.
All right, you did great today. Go back to bed. Jesus. Let me change this layout real quick. Unless Jen wants that layout, though. Actually, we'll just leave it. All right. Holy shit. I see Jenny, Ferlin, Howie Buns, Quests, Maria, and Cindy all in the request. If you are not opposition, hop out of there real quick. Maria, I see that you says you're a friend. This is a new person. Bander 2K2, welcome.
God damn it.
All right. You there, Bander?
Oh. I pushed the wrong button.
No worries. I got you. All right. Cindy. Cindy? All right. Thanks, Cindy. What is going on this morning? Let me change the layout here real quick. Good morning, everyone. Change the layout to, what did you want to panel? It is panel, Jen. It's just, don't do a fixed layout. There we go. Got it. Fixed. Holy smokes. What's going on in the, now we got silver for life.
Hey, RTP.
Hey.
I got two questions in this one. I'm not a Trump supporter. I would vote for a dead fly. But anyway,
well, we're just taking opposition today. I appreciate that. Come back on Friday. Quizette. I think that's how you say that. Quest, maybe? Good morning. Morning.
Sorry.
That's
Mistake.
okay. That's all right. What's up, Jen? God, this is crazy.
I was trying to kick somebody. That was my bad.
Oh, even you're gone too. All right. Maria, last one. Now we got it cleared. Maria. What's going on this morning? Maria? I'm going to guess that was an accident. That must have been an accident. All right, Maria. Enjoy your day at work. There we go. We are off to quite a start this morning. All right. I do have stories to cover this morning. Let me get my phone up. Let me get the apps up. Below me, you'll see the Cash App and Venmo. If you'd like me to read your comment, I'm happy to do so. Jumar says, for role playing. Thanks, Jumar. Stated goal every day is 169 just because it's a great number. Let me switch this over. Boom. I think I got it. Make sure. Got it. All right, back at it. So I went and saw Jasmine Crockett. She completely overshadowed Glenn Close, who didn't speak, and Jessica Alba, who also didn't speak. Kerry Washington, and I'm trying to remember what's the other guy's name? I couldn't figure out his name. He wasn't on any of the marketing material. What was the other guy's name? I thought somebody said he was maybe in Power, which I never saw. Yeah, Jessica Alba and Glenn Close, I think, had spoken earlier. It wasn't Jennifer Garner. It was Jessica Alba. It was Michael Early. That's right. That's who it was. I don't know what he was in. I recognize his face, but I couldn't couldn't place him. I think maybe he was in Barbershop. Was he in Ely? Michael Ealy? Was he in Barbershop? Is that what he was in? That's where okay, all right, Barbershop. All right, I don't know what else he was in, but anyways, we did go. It was short. It was a cool event. It was catered. It wasn't like a campaign event. I don't know how selective the guest list was. I have no idea. It was nice seeing Deani there. I would say between 150, probably 150 to 200 people. Jasmine Crockett was by far the best speaker, but she didn't come back out after. And I checked with her staff, and they said she was just having too many feelings, and she felt like this election was really important, and she needed to focus on her career and on campaigning. And so that's why she didn't come back out. She saw me. She had a lot of feelings, and she stayed back sorting that out after. So nothing I could do about that, and I support her. I support her in continuing her career, and I agree. This election is more important than she and I, and we can we can catch up later. So I didn't know. I didn't get to speak to any of them. It was a cool event. All the speakers were great, and especially, by the way, especially Jasmine. Like Jasmine came out. Jasmine was cussing. I like that. I like that some of these people are willing to cuss. The crowd was engaged. It was just a really, really cool event. I was glad I got invited to that. Is Jasmine going to be our new? I'm going to be an amazing politician's boyfriend. Our new mom. Yeah, she's the new mom. She's the new mom. All right, let's get into the news for today. As a reminder, as always, this is being live streamed to YouTube. You can catch it there. If you miss anything today, don't worry. You can head right back over to YouTube and you can watch it. This is just for the bros. And look, this is not a place on TikTok where you should get investment advice. I'm certainly not advocating that people gamble or invest. But if I were somebody who was going to advocate that, I would have you look at this election forecast from Polymarket. I've told you guys about Polymarket before. Polymarket is it's a betting platform. It's not a polling place. So when you see these numbers, Trump at 54%, Kamala at 54 or 45.4, these are not polls. These are bets placed. And Donald Trump went from it was an 8-point swing that we've had here. So I believe he was at 46% before. We've got an 8-point swing now. Virtually every serious poll says that Kamala is in the lead, yet he has an 8-point lead in betting. If we know anything, I watched this weekend. You had that GameStop stock, but where they did like their pump, and they were basically going against the people who had shorted it. They tried to do the same thing with Bed Bath & Beyond, and that wound up being like pretty scammy. But you saw these groups of investors who were willing to invest together. And I think that what we're seeing here is we are seeing the delusion of Trump supporters. We're seeing this wholesale rejection of polling. And in order for them to still feel like, hey, I'm like, I know what I'm talking about, I think they're putting their money where their mouth is. That's what I think this map is. And I'm just saying, historically, like if you're a sports bettor, which I am, you want to look for places where the market is weak. This is one of those places. This is one of those places where the market is weak. You have somebody who's leading in virtually all the polls, and then you have the other person leading in these betting markets. So I'm just saying this is called Polymarket. If you were somebody who likes to bet, this might be an opportunity for you, because it's the exact opposite. Whether win or lose, there's value here if you're a bettor. So I just wanted to throw that out there. This is from, oh shit, I hope this works actually. Let me make sure. I hope this works. Don't paywall me. Don't paywall me. Okay, we didn't get paywalled. Good. I thought I was logged in here. Salt Lake Tribune in Utah put out this article this weekend. There were these 4 people right here. This is from left to right: Jim McConkey, Brent Ward, Christine Durham, and Richard Lambert. These are all some relatively well-connected Mormons. Jim McConkey, I believe, is one of the partners in a law firm called like McConkey and McConkey or something like that, or was a partner. I don't think he's there anymore. Brent Ward, Christine Durham, and Richard Lambert. Four prominent and politically active members of the Mormon Church believe they know whom God would not endorse for president, Donald Trump. The faith scriptures they reason spell out divine qualifications for public service. Honest men and women and wise men. Wait, by the way, they're putting and women in here because the Book of Mormon does not say women. So I'm going to read it as the Book of Mormon writes it. Honest men and wise men should be sought for diligently, and good men and wise men ye should observe to uphold. That's in the Doctrine and Covenants. That's the stuff Joseph Smith was writing for himself. So the Book of Mormon, he pretended, was like this actual book that he was translating. The Doctrine and Covenants is Joseph Smith talking to God and God giving him these words. These members, Christine Durham, a past Chief Justice of Utah's Supreme Court, Brent Ward, a former U.S. attorney, Richard Lambert, a retired U.S. attorney, and James McConkey, a civil rights attorney, declared in interviews Thursday at the Utah Capitol that Trump is not honest, wise, or good, and thus should not get Latter-day support. This has been actually interesting to me to watch the Mormon Church actually navigate this well for once. We have Mormons against Trump down here in Mesa, very conservative. Obviously, our mayor came out against him. Jeff Flake, who is a Mormon former senator here in Mesa, Arizona, came out against Donald Trump. And now we have prominent members of the legal community in Utah who are also active Mormons or Latter-day Saints. They prefer to be called Latter-day Saints, saying that Donald Trump is not honest, wise, or good. It's not just a general recommendation, they argued, but rather by way of commandment. Nor is it a partisan issue, they believe, as the foursome includes 2 Democrats, a Republican, and an independent. They've spelled out the case in an online petition. You can click on it there. This link will be dropped in our Discord, titled LDS Opposed to Trump, explaining what they believe are Trump's lies and his actions towards others. Really interesting stuff. But I just wanted to show you this, that in deep red Utah, full of deep red conservatives, full of deep red Mormons, and even the Democrats in Utah are basically moderate Republicans everywhere else, turning against the former president. And how could you not? How could you not turn against Donald Trump after the week and a half that he's had? And I'll get to some of that here in a minute. I also wanted to show you this. This is a clip that's been going around, that's been available for a while. But this is Elon Musk's brother, who is more handsome than Elon, which is great. I want you to hear what he admits here. This is actually pretty interesting.
These numbers every day, but for us to hear, we'll give you $3 million.
Yeah, it sounded extremely, we thought they were crazy. Why would they do that?
It was literally these people are insane.
They obviously do not realize we're sleeping in the office.
In fact, when they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
yes, we were.
I'd say it's a gray area.
Yeah, yes, we were. We were illegal immigrants. We were sleeping in the office. We didn't have a car. We had one car, but the wheel kept falling off.
But
whoops. Whoopsies. Somebody ought to look into that. How's the guy that's up every day campaigning against illegal immigration? And what I assume happened, I haven't looked into this. I'm going to assume that Elon Musk was on a student visa, and that student visa, because he was no longer in school, had expired, and therefore he was here illegally. Just like 90% of the people who are here illegally, they did so because of overstayed visas. And then because he got money, and because he was building a company, he probably got an expedited process or deferred. Did he have to go back to the end of the line? Does anybody know? Because Republicans are for legal immigration, right? You guys you let us know. You love immigrants, we know. You're against illegal immigration. Shouldn't he have gone back to the back of the line? What happened there? This was 2013, by the way. I don't. Since then, still nothing has happened. Should he go back to the back of the line, Republicans? Guys, if you hated me for having Sherwinner, if you hated me then, it didn't pull up. Oh, good. J-Man was here. Yeah, I can run it back.
Well, I see these numbers every day, but for us to hear, we'll give you $3 million.
Yeah, it sounded extremely, we thought they were crazy. Why would they do that?
It was literally
No, he wasn't a student in 2013. This video was in 2013. He was a student on an. That's how he came to this country, is on a student visa.
These people are insane.
They obviously do not realize we're sleeping in the office.
In fact, when they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
Yes, we were.
I'd say it's a gray area.
Yeah, yes, we were. We were illegal immigrants. We were sleeping in the office. We didn't have a car. We had one car, but the wheel kept falling off.
But, well, actually, yeah, the wheel.
You see these numbers every
Oh,
day,
sorry.
for us,
I don't
you-
know. I'm sorry. I didn't even show you that video. It's a real video. I'm so sorry. I should have showed you the video. I'm slow today. Well, I'll give you the one more time so you can watch Elon's face. One more time.
People are insane.
They obviously do not realize we're sleeping in the office.
In fact, when they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
Yes, we were.
I'd say it's a gray area.
Yeah, yes, we were. We were illegal immigrants. We were
Yeah, I like when they say it's a gray area. It's clearly not a gray area. That's why everybody's laughing like that, right? They clearly were here illegally, which is, again, like, I don't really care. That doesn't bother me very much. But it bothers me that now, like, specifically immigrants who are brown, suddenly there's a problem with that. I don't know about that, Jen. I'll check. I'll go through those in a second. I'll check. But this was 2013. Looks like somebody said Palo Alto, which is probably correct. I didn't get the link of where it was. And then, do I want to do this one? Yeah, let's do this. I just didn't have I didn't have a story to go along with this. But today is October 7th. So there are going to be a lot. There are going to be a lot of people who are talking about that. I'm not going to talk about that a great deal today, but I thought Kamala was asked like a fairly tough question, and I liked how she answered this question. She's getting a lot of criticism for this, but I actually liked this answer. I think it was the correct answer. So I'm going to give Kamala some praise here.
Do we have a real close ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu?
I think, with all due respect, the better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the answer to that question is yes.
Now she's being eviscerated by right-wing media for calling that a non-answer. That's actually a pretty specific answer, and I think that's pretty obvious what she's saying. She's saying, yes, we have an alliance with the Israeli people. No, we don't have an alliance with Benjamin Netanyahu, and we don't. There is no alliance with Benjamin Netanyahu. That's the right answer. It is important to maintain those relationships, and I think it's important to try and maintain any relationships that we possibly can and keep them civil. But I thought that was a good answer, and I also think it speaks to the changes we can probably expect to see out of her administration when it comes to Israel. I don't think it's going to be massive. I don't think it's going to be as far left as we think. Like, I don't think she's going to win office and then put Netanyahu, like, go arrest Netanyahu. But I do think that the amount of leeway that Netanyahu's been given by the Biden administration, I don't think that we will see that same type of leeway given by the Harris administration. Encouraging answer for sure. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was encouraging. I like that. The party of alternate facts and lies are very judgmental. Yeah, he's just like Trump, wants to keep the war going so he can stay in power. Well, even more so than Trump. Like, Trump kind of wants these things to keep going so he can return to power. Netanyahu needs these conflicts to keep going so that he doesn't have to face criminal charges. Just like Trump, he's accused of being a felon, I guess. Maybe hasn't been convicted yet, but very, very similar. Good point there, Baron. All right. Here was my favorite story of the weekend. I was scrolling through, and I largely left social media for the weekend and largely left news stories for the weekend. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but this is from College Republicans at ASU. They say major breaking: 150,000 students from all Arizona universities, including Arizona State and University of Arizona, have received a text from Kamala Harris's campaign telling the students to vote for her. If Kamala has access to all of Arizona college students' phone numbers, what else do they have? Here's the text. It says, this one goes out to U of A. Hey, Wildcats, it's Kamala. I wanted to remind you that the deadline to register to vote in Arizona is Monday, October 7th. By the way, a good reminder, if you're in Arizona, please check your voter registration today. Check it now. Leave this program, check your voter registration right now. Make sure that you're registered. If you're not registered to vote, register. If you don't know how to check your voter registration, just go try and register to vote. You'll get an error message saying you're already registered. You'll be good to go. But even if you don't want to dig through and check your voter registration, just type in register to vote, Arizona, get it done today. If you're in a different state, get it done today. Shit, we got the blurred camera again. There we go. No matter where you are, check your registration today. Today is a good day to check your voter registration. So that comes through. That's to U of A. This one is Hi Sun Devils. But shout out Sun Devils, by the way. Do you guys know? You know how like everybody has their hand signs? Do you know what the Sun Devil hand sign is? Not everybody. Like you have hook 'em horns, which I think is this or something. BYU does this. It's like a Y, but then it's like hang loose because our coach is Polynesian. Do you guys know the ASU? just gonna give it to you. It's over here. That's the ASU hand signal. So while you're marching down the field, you'll see a bunch of ASU people, and they do this. It's supposed to be a fork. It's supposed to be a pitchfork. But I remember the first time going to an ASU game, I was like, what in the fuck is all of that? And their walkout song, which I don't know, it may have changed by now, but their walkout song for their football team is, oh, don't you dare look back. Just keep your eyes on me. But they say, shut up, you're in Tempe, instead of shut up and dance with me. And they're all, shut up, you're in Tempe. Yeah, it's a fork, all right. It's a fork. You could call it that. You could call it a fork. Anyways, so that happens, and Republicans are very upset. They're saying this is election interference. By the way, you know probably why they got those numbers is they've been doing get out the vote stuff. They've been targeting students. I bet it didn't hurt that Taylor Swift was there. Or was out there saying like, make sure you register to vote. And if you're registering to vote and you're like, oh, I'm a Swiftie, you're probably registering to vote as a Democrat, and you're probably registering to vote as a college student. If you go to an event on the college campus, you're going to get that. If you sign a petition for an amendment, which most of these people probably did for the abortion amendment, you're now on a list. That's how this stuff works. But Republicans are mad. And then I came across this from Charlie Kirk yesterday. Charlie Kirk here. This is him walking through campus. Yay, Charlie. Hooray. That looks like ASU to me. I'm not sure. This is at a Whites for Charlie Kirk rally. This is Charlie Kirk on college campus here. USA! USA! Charlie Kirk there. And then Charlie Kirk bragging, 500 new Gen Z voters. We registered 500 new Gen Z voters. Yeah, he's doing the same thing. And by the way, Charlie Kirk's job, the reason Charlie Kirk is getting paid so much is because Charlie Kirk has been assigned by the Trump team to get out the younger vote, specifically here in Arizona where they're located. So on the same day that Republicans are like, Democrats are cheating, there's 150,000 students who at some point gave their phone number getting a text message, and Charlie Kirk's like, we got 500. Yay! 500. But Charlie Kirk also complaining about Kamala being able to access these students. It's almost like the students don't really care about Charlie Kirk, and they don't really care about Turning Point USA. In fact, it's almost like they don't like him. It feels that way. Yeah, 500 white guys. Yeah, that's probably what it was. I'm just saying, like, if you look through the numbers, Charlie Kirk is a massive failure. Charlie Kirk has not done well with his job, but Republican money is dumb money. It's just try. The thing is like their message isn't that good, and this message of forced birth, this message of like Bibles in school, the messaging of anti-immigration, like that just doesn't really work on younger generations. It's not a good message for younger people. You said J-Man's back. All right, J-Man, short leash with you today. If you're baked, they're gonna get mad at me. What's up, man?
Yo,
Hey,
yo,
oh
yo
no,
ass,
oh no.
yo ass be lying on here.
What?
Yo ass be lying on here.
What did I lie about?
That's the word on the street.
It is?
And
Damn,
I
dude.
came
I'm
in to
on the
listen.
street. They're talking about me on the streets.
I came in to listen, and I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, this nigga is capping.
you can't
So
say
I
the
had to
N.
get up here.
J-Man, you can't say the N-word on TikTok. Come on,
Oh,
man.
I thought they said black people can say it.
I don't think you can say that on TikTok, man.
Oh shit. All right. But yeah, you be capping, cuz.
I'm cap. Where am I capping?
You capping. He talk about Kamala Harris, a good
Kamala.
president candidate.
It's just Kamala.
Let me tell you.
No, just say Kamala. Just do it for me one time. Say it for me one time. Just say Kamala.
All right, say it one more time.
Kamala.
One more time.
Kamala.
There
you go. There you go. Let it out. Let it out.
All right. So I did my homework and I got something written down.
Oh shit! You did home. All right. You deserve it then. What did you write down, J-Man?
Is you familiar with a philosophical foundation?
I'm familiar with a few philosophical foundations, but which one specifically are you talking about?
With Jean-Jacques?
What?
Jean-Jacques?
Come on, man. Now you're trolling. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not. Look him up.
I don't even know what you're saying. Spell it.
Jean and then JACQ.
Are you talking about Rousseau? Are you talking about Rousseau?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, bro, Trump love populism, bro. That's a great philosophy in life. That's a great philosophy for our president.
What? Why?
To believe.
What's populism? What's populism?
Majority rules.
He doesn't believe, but he doesn't believe that. He's Republican because Republicans are out here trying to make sure that people don't vote. They're out here purging voter records. They're out here. Like 218,000 in my state. People who were purged off voter rolls.
Nah, you capping, cuz.
No, that's a real story. You want me to show you a headline? Watch. If I do 218,000 and I type in just Arizona. Oh shit, you're not gonna be able to see this. The first thing I get is a bunch of right wingers saying 218,000 Arizona voters can't prove their U.S. citizenship. Now, is that true? And by the way, it's Trump's group that is making this.
How is Trump's groups? How is that?
It's America First Legal. It's run by Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is a member of Donald Trump's team. He works at the direction of Donald Trump with American First Legal.
Cuz
you know who Stephen Miller is? He's a white supremacist.
Trump ain't got nothing to do with that, cuz.
No, Trump. No, he does, brother. I don't know what to tell you about that. Like, if you don't know Stephen Miller is Trump's guy, I don't know what to tell you.
I know he his guy.
Do you? Do you know that he's a white supremacist? How do you feel about Trump being surrounded by so many white supremacists?
How many white supremacists he surrounded by?
A lot. Like a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. How many is too many? Is one too? Like, if he has a white supremacist in his cabinet, is that disqualifying or no for you?
Hey, back in the day though, Trump was fucking with all the black people. What you talking about though?
You mean Diddy? You mean Diddy?
Trump grew up. Trump grew up with all the black people.
You mean Diddy?
That's one of many.
Who are the other people that Trump was hanging out with at parties that were black? Who are the other ones?
Say Diddy. You is Diddy.
Well, he loved Diddy. He loved Diddy.
You love Diddy.
You love Diddy, J-Man. Listen, I'm West Coast, man. I was not a bad boy for life, okay?
Man.
I'll say this. I didn't even really like Biggie. I think Biggie's crazy overrated. I don't even think Biggie's that good.
Oh no, I think Biggie cold. I don't listen to that nigga though. That nigga trash.
Stop saying the N-word for the love of God, man.
It's just part of my vocabulary, cuz.
I know, but it gets me in trouble, so don't do it.
Oh, Joe, it get you in trouble.
Yeah, it's my job, man.
Oh shit. Oh shit. This your job, cuz?
Yeah.
Oh, your ass getting paid then.
Yeah, people pay me. Yeah.
Oh shit. I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna become a debater. I'm finna become a debater. How I learn how
You
to
what?
debate. I'm finna
What?
become a debater. How
You
I learn
are?
how to debate.
I would
Yeah.
recommend learning some new things first.
Like,
I would
what's
recommend
your
learning like one thing first.
like what? Trump the best president? Hey, you heard that? Hey,
Yeah,
how you
that's
ever
not a good
hey, have
start.
you ever debated that black dude?
Who?
The black dude for Trump.
The black dude. It's hard to know who you're talking about, pal.
He for Trump. It's like he like wood, like lumber or something.
He likes wood.
Nah,
Lumberjack?
yeah,
Is that who you're talking
lumberjack.
about? I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
you debated
Lumberjack.
him.
I'm gonna tell Lumberjack that the way you described him is you said he likes wood. I'm gonna explain it.
Damn.
Yeah, I debated him one time. You want to know what happened? He read the same definition over and over and over again that was proving that he
I
was
know.
wrong, and he couldn't figure it out. And now he says
I
that he
know.
won't debate me because I'm too dumb. That's what he said.
No, I know he was on that ass RTP.
All
He
right,
put
he wasn't.
he ain't built to ass.
Listen. This sounds like you're making more accusations about Lumberjack to me. That's what it sounds like. You came up saying he likes wood. Now you're saying he likes my ass. These are all unfounded allegations about Lumberjack, and I do not support them. But this feels like you're being very mean to Lumberjack.
Hey, everybody, hey, make sure y'all put y'all balance in for Trump, y'all.
But you're what? Did you say ballots in for Trump? Please stop commenting on J-Man's dialect. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't use the words that he's saying now. That's weird. All right. Well, there went J-Man. He was done. That was his walk-off moment. All right. Now, here's something I didn't think I would ever do. I am quoting Laura Loomer, and I'm quoting Laura Loomer because I actually think that she's right. Now, Laura, not right because she's smart, but right because I think Laura Loomer gets leaks from the Trump campaign. I'm fairly certain that this is directly from the Trump campaign, and you'll see why. Let me pull up this tweet. Well, I'll just read it. Can you guys read the tweets when they're up? Does it even matter if they're up? Well, I'll let you see the person. There we go. All right. So this guy right here, his name is Corey Langhofer. This guy right here looks really, really lovely. From Laura Loomer, and it hasn't been announced publicly, but I imagine today it will be public. The election integrity lawyer for the Republican Party in Arizona, Corey Langhofer, has resigned. This means that 3 days before mail-in ballots are dropping in Arizona, the Arizona GOP and Team Trump don't have a lawyer to fight election fraud in Arizona. I'm told Corey resigned today, and I believe that she was told this, by the way. I think that this is how some people in the Trump campaign are leaking things. I'm told Corey resigned today, and his resignation will go into effect on Wednesday. He resigned because he was unwilling to file a lawsuit over the 218,000 unconfirmed U.S. citizens that Adrian Fontes, the anti-Trump Democrat Secretary of State in Arizona, has refused to remove from the voter rolls. It's worth noting that Langhofer served as litigation counsel for Mitt Romney's 2012 presidential campaign. He also served as general counsel for Carly Fiorina's 2016. Shout out Carly Fiorina. I forgot all about her. Whew. What an afterthought. Also served as general counsel for Carly Fiorina's presidential campaign where she ran against Donald Trump. In other words, he's a total rhino. Well, the reason he won't file a lawsuit for these 218,000 unconfirmed U.S. citizens is that it's fruitless, and it could cost him his law license. These types of frivolous lawsuits over and over are why many Trump lawyers have lost their licenses already. See, MAGA demands that the lawyers just lie for them. And that's where people like Alina Habba are able to come in. They're like, yeah, I don't care. I'll lie. I'll lie as long as it takes for me to lose my law license. In that time, I'm going to become a MAGA star. And they're banking on that. we'll see what Corey Langhofer says. He's supposed to resign on Wednesday. Maybe this will pressure him to resign a little bit earlier, but I'm going to guess, and I'll have it as soon as he resigns. I'm going to guess he says that he's being pushed to file a lawsuit that has no merit. That's just my guess there. But we did get to quote Laura Loomer today. While you're looking at Corey there, let me read a couple comments. Renee says, you have made a great point last Friday night. I have noticed a massive drop-off on anyone remotely intelligent defending Trump, and it seems it's just like everyone left is unintelligent people with zero clues on what they were talking about. Yeah, look, I do feel that way, and I felt that way for a little while, but I would be lying if I didn't say listening for an hour to that Right Plight YouTube didn't like potentially change my perspective. And I honestly don't know if I'm right about that or not. It feels like it. It sure feels like these people are scripted. It sure feels like the dumbest among them are the only ones left. But maybe that's just my experience. Maybe I don't spend a lot of time watching the debates. Maybe there's some smart debates going on, but they still feel dumb. Yeah, we still have Shuckett. Yeah, that's right. Shuckett's one of the best. Shuckett at this point is one of their best debaters just because we at least know what he's talking about. Like we had Sherwinner and J-Man this morning. That's what we had this morning. Sherwinner and J-Man. Cindy says, I see Jay has replaced one JC in his heart with another JC. Did you talk to her? I did not. She came in and rushed out very quickly. I don't know what happened. At the end when everybody came back on stage and took a picture, she wasn't there. I said that it was because she was too in love with me. I might have made that part up. I don't know why Jasmine did not come back out on stage. Perhaps she needed to go somewhere. Patrick says, have to believe today that betting Trump on Polymarket is a better investment than Deebo Samuel 40+ receiving yards. Oof. Thank you. My Niners did blow another game yesterday. And I have this, one of my best friends, he's a nightmare. If the 49ers like throw an incomplete pass, he's like, oh, we're screwed. But he correctly predicted that they would lose. I want to say, by the way, I had Arizona Cardinals were plus 13.5 at one point live betting, and I did take it. I did bet against my own team yesterday, so I don't feel as bad. Brent says, let me explain. Dropped my phone, earbud fell out. Next thing I know, I hear banter on the car speaker. Oh, that was Brent that was in the request. Guess I'll just take a gummy and play more golf. Thanks for what you do. Love your content. Go Niners. Listen, you guys better be careful about the Niners because every year they start off poorly and then they keep coming back. So you guys need to be careful. Jay, you've never lost it in the NFL Hall of Fame by Bentley against their own team. Betting? That's probably what that meant. Brett says, RTP for president. Oh, hell yeah. I'm running for president. Becky says, will you be my Aladdin and come in my cave of wonders? Jesus Christ. I can show you the world. Yeah, Becky, that's fine. Swish says Laura Loomer leaks for the Trump campaign. Yeah, she leaks probably in a lot of ways. I bet. I don't think her underwear is clean. She just doesn't seem like the type of person who has clean underwear. Haley says Jasmine left you to come to me. Watch it, Haley. That's not okay. Can I do I'll give you the forks up again. Forks up, baby. Liberal insanity? Who's liberal insanity? Is that somebody that's here? My cave of wonders is wild. All right. Next part. Hurricane Helene. I swear to God, I thought about just playing this live all day. I'll pull it up. Let me. I'm obsessed with Hurricane Milton. But do you guys know about these folks? I just want to see if you know these folks right here. I think this is them. Is it WFLA? No, let's see. Let me go to my history. Good thing I got rid of the big screen there. There we go. I highly recommend this group of people. Oh, shit. I got to sort through all my daughter's stuff. We're on the same YouTube account. Maybe it is this one. Yeah, this is it. You guys following this thing? This is like the hurricane tracker. We got no audio currently. You guys know about this place? This is on YouTube. This is WFLA, and they got these two guys that have been at it forever. Looks like we're gonna hit Tampa on Wednesday, but this thing is massive. I saw today somebody said we're at Category 5 now. Category 5 winds. It's supposed to come in and hit Tampa Bay, and I was listening this morning. It's crazy. Like, if it comes in and it misses Tampa Bay, like the actual bay, if it comes in south of that, like 15 miles, then virtually we're not going to see a ton of damage. But if it just goes 15 miles north and hits the actual bay, apparently it's like Foxville. I was hearing them today. They're like, if you live in a mobile home, you got to go. Winds up to 160 miles an hour. So for all of our Florida friends, find somewhere safe. If you don't have somewhere safe, like use Discord, use TikTok, see if you can find a place. This looks horrific. From what I understand, it was like a Category 2 or 3 sitting over here, like in Guadalupe. And then as it came down, and you have a jet stream. Let's see, where do we go? Where's my finger go? It's backwards. A jet stream coming up this way. And so as it moves across this way, and the jet stream's coming up this way, and it hits, that's what turned it into a Category 5. Anyways, I've been watching. Jones is evacuating for real. Everyone in Florida, come to my house. Yeah, look, if you want to help, entertain my daughter. She's nonstop. Go, go, go. So maybe that's the plan. Does Jones have a place to go? Did they find a place? Listen, this is by the way, meteorologist Jay. I learned all this stuff like yesterday. I watched this on my computer while I was supposed to be building the live outline, and I just couldn't stop watching this. It's fascinating. He's going to Atlanta. Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to do, right? Like go over Tampa and then across Florida. Like it's not going to go up in the same way. Is that right? Where is Jones? Is he in the Tampa area, somewhere around there? I can't remember. I know he's told me before. Will it hit Mar-a-Lago? It just may. If it hits Mar-a-Lago, I don't think so. I think Mar-a-Lago's south of that, right? Mar-a-Lago's in Palm Beach, so I don't think so. He's in Orlando, so he's yeah. But if it did hit Mar-a-Lago, then what do we do, Marge? I think Palm Beach is down like. Yeah, there you can see West Palm Beach right there. It's going to be on the outside of it. That's wild. Anyways, shout out to Florida. They're definitely going to think Biden and Kamala did it. Yeah. Well, now we can blame Ron DeSantis. If it's going at Disney, we know who's in control of that, right? That's Ron DeSantis. I'd imagine. Can you imagine if this thing hits Disney? The amount of people who are going to legitimate people who are going to be like, well, Disney went woke and God got them with a hurricane. You notice how some of these conservative Christians, like they're cool with God being destructive when it takes out liberals. But like if it gets conservatives, then it wasn't really God and we need God to save us, right? Have you noticed that? Anybody else notice that? I noticed it with North Carolina all week. This is an article from, I'll leave the video up there so you guys have something to be distracted by. This is an article from WRAL, which is where are they out of? So I think it's North Carolina. But this is from WRAL, titled "The Fact-Checking the 5 Misleading Claims About Helene Relief Efforts." One of the most disgusting things, and it's been you've all seen it too, and I'm sure you share the same disgust. The amount of friends I have that are just sharing blatant misinformation about the hurricane relief efforts in order to try and smear the Biden administration and make it look like they're uncaring it's fucking gross. Like it is so fucking gross. This group of folks that are voting for Donald Trump, they have nothing to vote on. Nothing. They don't have a platform. Donald Trump won't even tell them. They're not even 100% sure he's not going to come in and be a fascist. Like they're still kind of waiting on that. But what they are running on is hatred and fear and division. And at a time when, let's get the facts straight, FEMA does have the money that they need. FEMA doesn't have the money that they need long term, and Congress is going to have to appropriate that. This is the role of Congress. And this is the role of Congress that is led by a House which is run by the GOP. And 185 members of Congress voted against funding FEMA. So even the funds that we have now, Republicans tried to vote against that. And now these funds are going, every governor in every one of these states says literally everything we're asking for, we've gotten. The problem that we have in a lot of these areas is that, like in North Carolina in the mountains, most of the roads are built along the rivers. That's how they cut. And I lived in Utah, so driving through the mountains, there's almost always a river next to you. You go with the river. It's the easiest place to build roads, right? And so all of those roads have been washed out, so now you need airlift. Well, then they're running into issues because you have air traffic control. You have to get people in at time. I was watching the North Carolina governor say, we had legitimate near misses because people weren't listening to air traffic control. You had private planes coming in, and God bless them, like they're out there, they're working hard, they're trying to help, but they're causing chaos. So he said that if anybody is saying that they have been told, no, you can't come here, or no, you need to wait, it's because it's not safe for them because there's other planes or other helicopters landing at the same time, and so they need to wait. I don't know, like I've been through Appalachia. It's not like there's just a big open fields everybody can pick an open field and land in. Like there's specific places you need to go, and there's specific places you need to go because there's no roads. So you have to get to the right places. And it's just gross watching how many people will sit there and lie over and over and over. First claim, this was about Chimney Rock. This one, I think, was by far the most egregious. Republicans were claiming that Chimney Rock residents were told that their land was being seized by the federal government. And this originates, surprise, surprise, from a Twitter post from Chris Martinson. And he tells this whole big long story. I won't read it. You guys can check it out if you want. But the fact check says there's no claims to support this post. It's been seen read by more than 2.5 million people. The local county government, FEMA, and North Carolina House of Representative Speaker Tim Moore, a Republican who represents Western North Carolina, have rebutted it. From Tim Moore, he says there was no special meeting held in Chimney Rock on October 2nd involving discussions of the federal, state, or local governments seizing the town. If you guys look up the pictures of Chimney Rock, you'll see like it's just decimated. And I believe and somebody on Friday came up, I don't know if it was on this show or with Jeff, they came up and they were talking about lithium. Do you guys remember that? When someone's like, what about those lithium deposits in North Carolina? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like that would be electric vehicles. Yeah, I don't support lithium deposits being taken over by federal government. It stems from this. So it stems from this claim here that Chimney Rock was going to be, because it was wiped out, now nobody was going to be able to rebuild, and they were just going to mine it for lithium. Again, no special meeting held in Chimney Rock about the government seizing the town. FEMA also issued a statement on October 3rd saying the claims about FEMA confiscating or taking commodities, supplies, or resources in North Carolina, Tennessee, or any state impacted by Helene are false. You know how we all should have known this was false? And you know how Republicans should know that it's false? Is FEMA can't seize land. In what world would FEMA have the congressional authority of eminent domain? Who has eminent domain? Who has that authority? Right? Like it sure shit isn't FEMA. Let's see. Jones and NORADs are evacuating today. And then I need to update this gift goal. Let me do some math real quick. Hopefully too, if Jones and NORADs have a place to go, if they have a fundraiser, let me know. I'd be happy to help with that. I'm supposed to participate in another fundraiser actually. I need to get back to somebody today. What's that 55 plus? Add this up real quick. Sorry, guys. It's 90. There we go. Thank you guys for the generous gifts. Anyways, let me know if there's something I can do to help with victims in that way. I'd be happy to do it. I got fall break for my daughter, so she's here all day, but I can step on at any time in a moment's notice to help with that. All right. Moore, getting back to the article, the fact check. Tim Moore, again, the Republican who is the Speaker of the House and also represents Western North Carolina, said that he had not heard anything like that at all. And I've been in Chimney Rock, and I was meeting with the mayor today. Flooding has altered part of Chimney Rock's topography so much that some people who lost homes or buildings won't be able to rebuild them where they last stood, Moore said. Parts of the town and everything are not there. They're in the river. The river has changed its course, so I've not heard anyone say anything crazy like the federal government seizing land, but there's going to be areas where they absolutely can't build back because that land doesn't exist, just no longer exists. Second claim comes from Lieutenant Governor, I think it comes from Mark Robinson. Yeah. Mark Robinson said, Joe Biden told the people of North Carolina they had no more supplies for us. You have to evacuate too, Judy. Stay safe, please. Keep us posted in the Discord as well. Let us know if there's stuff we can do to help. Mark Robinson, who's running for governor against Josh Stein, made this claim in, again, a Twitter post, which, by the way, today, Republicans are very upset that Elon Musk is being called the greatest spreader of misinformation, and yet all this misinformation seems to come from his site. It's possible Robinson was referring to comments Biden made at the September 29th Dover Air Force Base. A reporter asked Biden, are there any more resources the federal government could be giving? Biden said, no, we've given them. We have pre-planned a significant amount of it, and even though they didn't ask for it yet, hadn't asked for it yet, what Biden's saying is that they pre-authorized all of this money. They pre-authorized so that if for some reason the governor couldn't get a hold of the president, that authorization had already been given. It streamlines everything. Smart move. The exact opposite of what the Trump administration did, because they don't prepare for anything. Biden's no comment referred to what resources had already been given. Biden didn't rule out additional resources. And by the time Robinson posted his claim, Biden had signaled his intent to provide more. So it's an obviously false claim, but it also requires more funding is going to require the House. And Joe Biden called on Mike Johnson to say, reconvene, please. And Mike Johnson's like, no, we're on vacation. And by vacation, of course, he means going around for photo ops all over where the hurricane is. And they're just not going to get back to business. They're not going to come back in. All they have to do is authorize the money, right? Yeah. You mean Mark Robinson, the one who didn't vote at all for FEMA funding? I don't think Mark Robinson had a vote in that. Mark Robinson was lieutenant governor, but I don't think he supported it. In a September 30th press briefing, Biden said he'd spoken to the governors in affected states who said they needed more resources immediately. Biden said they're getting them immediately. The Defense Department agreed to send helicopters to get as much in as we can. It's going to take a long time. The question is how to get in. It's hard to get resources from point A to point B. It's hard to get in if some of these roads are wiped out, communities are wiped out. We've seen the calls, like you've probably seen videos from people who are in those areas saying, please stop lying. Please stop lying. Like, the federal government is here. They're helping us. The idea that there was only $750 granted to people from FEMA, that's also a lie. That was just initially, like, as the storm was coming in, they were telling people, look, if you don't have money, we can get you at least $750. So it was there in the immediate aftermath, and it was prepared for before these hurricanes even struck. FEMA says they have enough money right now for immediate response and recovery needs. If you were affected by Helene, do not hesitate to apply for disaster assistance, as there is a variety of help available for different needs. Next claim was that North Carolina Speaker Morgan was preventing an out-of-state helicopter from even going in and was trying to kick us out. This is from Jonathan Howard. Republicans love Jonathan Howard. Guess where he made his claim? Instagram. Guess where it blew up? X. And guess who blew it up? Libs of TikTok. Conservative account with more than 1 million followers. Howard's in the video says that he flew into North Carolina over the weekend and that the local sheriff's department cited Moore when stopping him from taking a rescue mission. Here's the actual clip. Let me give it to you. And you just tell me how honest you think this is. Like, this was so transparently. When you're watching stuff like this, like, what you want to watch for is the lack of information or the specifics that don't make sense. Here's the original claim.
I really don't want to make this video, but it is literally
do.
a matter of life and death for the people of North Carolina. So, my name's Jonathan Howard. I'm a member of the Florida State Guard Special Missions Unit, and I'm also up here with Aerial Recovery, a nonprofit. I came up here on Sunday with Aerial Recovery before we even got activated. We flew up here, and then we got activated, which is great. I have my team up here working as well. Here's the problem. I'm going to tell you everything that's happening from the ground, what I'm actually seeing, because what they're telling you is complete bullshit on the news, and these politicians don't have a fucking clue, and they're lying. And I'll say this now, and I'll say it at the end of the video. I
just want to point out, this is a guy on the ground. Now, you can see what's happening on the ground, but what you can't see, guy on the ground, is what's happening behind the scenes. What you don't know is what resources are available. What you don't know is what's happening, like Moore said, in air traffic control. What you don't know is what supplies or what people are on their way. In fact, I would say that being on the ground just makes you informed on personally what's happening to these people. But it doesn't give you evidence of like what's not being done, right?
The thing I need from this video is helicopters. If I have helicopters, I can save lives. Without helicopters, I can't reach these people.
Why the fuck why do you think there's no helicopters? Why do you think you're having a hard time getting helicopters? Is it possibly because like you're not the only place where there's a problem? Is it possible you're not the only person? Like, what's with all these Republicans showing up to help me? Like, give me helicopters. I'm here. Where's my helicopters? Why do they all think they just get helicopters?
It doesn't matter how many chainsaws and trucks I got. I can't get to them. They're 10 miles in, 20 miles, 40 miles in the mountains. There's no way to get with them or even communicate with them. I am literally flying around in a civilian helicopter looking for SOS messages carved in the mud or painted on the ground, and we're dropping down and saving them.
Great, thank you. I'm glad that you're doing that. That's terrific. What do you think everybody else is doing? What, you just think nobody else is doing that? You think none of these other helicopters flying around are doing the exact same damn thing? It's not a random civilian. He said he worked for, I think, the National Guard, but he's here in a civilian role working for a nonprofit.
What got me fired up about this was yesterday, me and my team did the rescue of that 11-day-old baby. And all these government officials and social media, they're showing that video, that pictures and video of that rescue, and claiming that
this is for those that are asking, it's Jonathan Howard. He's from the Florida State Guard Special Missions Unit, but again, he's here working with a private company, so he's not acting in his role of the Florida State Guard.
Like they have some like government help with
11-year-old baby, yeah.
And I mean, even USA, I think it was USA Today, wrote an article about it, saying it was a Florida National Guard that went and got it, like with a helicopter.
Why does bro have time to read the USA Today? He's so fucking busy, he's reading the articles about himself. Cool.
No, it was me, my buddy Charlie, and a civilian named Zeb with his own personal helicopter out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Someone help me out of this, by the way. If this is a Florida National Guardsman, and they are working outside of the state, like they won't be listed as like in their role. Like you can't act in your role, right? You can't act as a Florida State National Guardsman in North Carolina. Is that correct for anybody who's in the military? If you're in one state National Guard, can you be deployed from another or as part of another state's National Guard? I don't know the answer on that. I don't think that. I think that's incorrect. I don't think you can do that. Can't? Okay, thank you. Why isn't he helping Florida? Look, Florida, frankly, Florida has a lot of resources, and Florida gets hit with hurricanes all the time. Florida is kind of ready for this. The people in Western North Carolina weren't ready for this. This isn't normal for them. So for those saying, why aren't you helping Florida? Florida apparently has the resources they need, and they're getting done what they need to get done. And I think even though we don't like Ron DeSantis, we can probably say Florida's doing a good job. So I think it's great that there's people in Florida recognizing that their state's under control and going to places that don't deal with this very often.
Like without that civilian, that baby would be dead. And the old lady we went and rescued after that, she'd be dead too because she had 1 day left of oxygen. No one was going to go get them. I will tell you, when we go up in the air, I probably see 40 civilian helicopters, and I might see 2 Blackhawks, National Guard, military, whatever they are. That's it. No one's out there doing rescues. I have my entire team up here from Florida right now, and they have no ability to go rescue these people other than what they can drive to. And the people that are in dire need, they're out in the mountains. They are completely cut off.
The thing that's troubling about this is how MAGA rhetoric works. Like I feel for this guy. Like I do believe he's out there to do a good thing. And this is just like the plight of the white conservative man. No matter what, all my conservative friends are exactly the same. No matter what, they will always think they're smarter than the government, and that the reason things aren't getting done is because the government is done. I don't know what our supply of Blackhawks looks like. Do you know? Does he know? Do we know where they are? Do we know how many? If there's 40 civilian helicopters and only 2 Blackhawks, maybe you have enough civilian helicopters there for the airspace. Maybe it's too crowded. Maybe we're waiting on Blackhawks. I don't know. I don't know how many Blackhawks we have stateside. I have no idea. But he doesn't either. And that's what, like, this type of stuff, it takes off for this reason. Because people hear something and they're like, oh, people are dying, therefore, and the government didn't save it, and this guy's doing it, therefore the government is inept. Now, when they're dying on the streets, when they are unhoused, when people can't afford their medication and are rationing medication, yeah, they should have been prepared and pulled themselves up from the bootstraps. Just want to point that out. But when it's suffering like this, when it's suffering where they can position themselves as the hero, that is a Republican wet dream.
Now, I will say, I spoke to my congresswoman down in Florida, and she's a badass. And she made a bunch of phone calls, and now we got 2 contracted 60s coming up here tomorrow, which is great. I love that. But, like, I still don't understand why we don't have more helicopters. Like, we'll get a lot of work done with that, but...
Yeah, I wonder if a major fucking natural disaster would, and people needing to be airlifted, would cause a shortage of helicopters. I wonder if that would happen. I don't get it. I don't get it. We got to get them from a different state where they're not having the same problem. Why don't we have unlimited helicopters? Someone make a helicopter. Can we do a hand crank helicopter? Thank you, Vegas T-Rock. He just said there's 40 in the air. I don't know how many helicopters are around. And you're in one place. You're not in the only place where there's problems. It's crazy. And MAGA, again, the frustration this guy feels is warranted. Being on the ground, like knowing that there's people suffering and that there's probably people who are going to die that we're not going to get to. I understand that frustration. And I don't even mind that he shared the video. It's these inferences to the government. It's this, in the middle of a tragedy, this guy's going to take 5 minutes and 30 seconds out of his day after he was done reading all the news about him, and he's going to rant and rave about the federal government when he's saying over and over, I have no idea why, but somehow it's the federal government's fault.
There's no military. There's no one's doing nothing. It blows my mind. And they're not even allowing people to see what's really going on. One of our friends yesterday, they were actually escorting CNN down at Lake Lure, and they wouldn't even let CNN, the sheriff department would not let them go videotape the bad areas, how destructive it is. I don't know why they don't.
Oh yeah? The sheriff's department won't let people drive on fucking roads that were washed away by a river? The sheriff's department is trying to keep people safe, and this guy's like, he just said it. Listen to what he just said. He answers his own question.
Let them go videotape the bad areas, how destructive it is. I don't know why they don't want to show you all that, but I mean, it is bad.
It's their job to keep people alive. That's why. It's their job to keep people alive. And if they're telling you can't drive down these roads are closed, you can't drive down the roads. Like, why does everything, and by the way, these are local police, like, everything has to be a conspiracy with these fucking idiots. Everything. There's just nothing can ever happen in this country and we come together and be like, let's figure it out. Yeah, it's a hurricane. Sorry we didn't have control over the hurricane. My bad. I know you guys think we have control. But the stuff that this guy's complaining about, and then right-wingers clip this and it goes on the news, and then they're angry, and then every trad wife in America is like, praying for these people. We need a new government, one who cares about we the people. Yeah, you're tweeting. Shut the fuck up. Like, go help. Go help then. If you're going to complain about it, go help. Go do something. But don't just don't listen. I don't know how anybody even listens to this video and they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. This is totally the federal government's fault." I don't get that.
No one's doing nothing. It blows my mind. And they're not even allowing
40
people to see
helicopters
what's
in the
really
air.
going on. One of our friends yesterday, they were actually escorting CNN down at Lake Lure, and they wouldn't even let CNN, the sheriff department would not let them go videotape the bad areas, how destructive it is. I don't know why they don't want to show you all that, but I mean, it is bad. I should also say, when I flew here on Sunday, they actually stopped us from going in, the sheriff department. And it was because of a bunch of politics that they were claiming was a speaker.
Oh, what? What was that? They wouldn't let us going in, and it was because a bunch of politics. So you flew in that day, and then they wouldn't let you go someplace, but you already knew it was because of politics. And here he's going to repeat that lie, by the way, that we covered.
The sheriff department. And it was because of a bunch of politics that they were claiming was the Speaker of the House of North Carolina that was preventing us from even going in and trying to kick us out, which I have clarified today with North Carolina politicians that reached out to me, good on them, and they were like, that's complete bullshit. Speaker of the House has nothing. He wants you guys there. But this is the kind of political BS that is happening here right now.
Yeah, they fucking lied to you, dummy. They fucking lied to you. Are you not getting this? Yeah, we heard it was from some political BS, and then a bunch of Republicans called me and said it wasn't. And so here we go, political BS. No, there was no political bullshit. And by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and guess that the good old boys, the sheriff department in Western North Carolina, aren't Harris fans. I'm just going to take a guess. Call me crazy that Western North Carolina, the hills of North Carolina, aren't full of liberals. I'm just going to take a guess there. And I bet the sheriffs aren't like, what we need to do is we need to go in with soft hands and make sure, guys, like make sure that we're adhering to hiring practices. You know what? Maybe we ought to get some mitigators here so we could work on mental health. Yeah, bullshit. You know what I could almost guarantee that Western North Carolina sheriffs all say? Boy. I bet they call a lot of people boy. That's my guess.
Like, everyone's trying to be in charge without taking any type of action. Nobody wants to coordinate with anybody. Everybody wants to pretend like they're being the hero. While these people are literally fucking dying in the mountains.
That's you.
And these people, like I'm saying, these people are limited medication. They're running out of oxygen, and there's no one going to get them. The most effective way I have found to go find these people is by getting in a helicopter and flying down the rivers and roads and looking for SOS messages or people waving us down. And then we drop down and get them. We have all these people here. We have law enforcement. We have State Guard, National Guard. They have no way to go get these people. Yes.
Sounds like there's a lot of people there. Sounds like a lot of people are working with the limited resources that they have and that they're trying to get more resources. And it sounds like the National Guard has been getting more resources. And it sounds like people like this guy, who good on him for being there, is also capable of making phone calls and getting more resources. It sounds like everybody's reaching across the entire country looking for resources to help these people. And resources don't always come quickly, just like his helicopters that he's getting. Do you see his 2 helicopters there? Oh, they're not there yet? Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
Yesterday, when I was at the Asheville airport refueling, which, by the way, the civilian is paying all this out of his own pocket. He's not even looking for a reimbursement. I think we did 4 refuelings yesterday. And that was like half a day's work.
You're a nonprofit, bud.
We're in Asheville.
You're not
and I saw
that for
2
yourself.
Air Force helicopter 60s. And I knew they were PJs, just looking at them. And I went up to them, I'm like, hey guys, like, what are y'all doing? And like,
what's a PJ? For those that are from the military, what's a PJ? I have no idea. Oh shit, I just poured out my drink on my lap. Private jet? Oh, okay. What? How would that help? Is he saying he's like? What's he make? What claim is he making here? Let's see. What's he trying to say?
And I saw 2 Air Force helicopter 60s, and I knew they were PJs, just looking at them. And I went up to them, I'm like, hey guys, like, what are you?
Wait, so like they're helicopters. Parajumper. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate that. That makes so much more sense than private jet. Thank you.
Y'all doing
Plow job.
And like, this is what you need to be doing. This is how I'm finding people. And they're like, we can't go. We're waiting on Title 10 orders. And I'm like, what? They can't get any authority. There's military helicopters all over here sitting on the ground, and they can't do nothing. Even my JSOC boys in Fayetteville, they can't get orders to come out here.
I mean, I think he meant they can't do anything, but that's fine. That's fine. And we'll cover the rest of this fact check. Let's see. Actually, I'll get there. Where did that go? Where's this part? All right, here it is. So his claim that 1,000 troops authorized to respond in North Carolina are sitting around twiddling their thumbs because Cooper hasn't written up the mission orders that the troops need in order to be deployed. Cooper's the governor. More than 500,000 people saw this claim. Cooper asked Biden on September 30th to make all necessary federal resources available to respond to this catastrophic storm, his office said. Also that day, in a letter to the United States Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Cooper granted consent for Brigadier General Charles Morrison of the North Carolina Army National Guard to lead response efforts as dual status commander for the tropical storm Helene response in North Carolina. And Cooper's office provided PolitiFact with a copy of the letter. So September 30th, pre all of this, they authorized it. Looks like Austin authorized the movement of up to 1,000 active duty soldiers to help Helene affected communities. The soldiers would be assembling and moving to the affected areas over the following 24 hours. And that was on October 1st. Pentagon's statement that the additional troops would join other service members already supporting FEMA's response would include helicopters from the U.S. Army and U.S. Navy and other aircraft from the Air Force. On October 2nd, the Fort Liberty Base 18th Airborne Corps provided the North Carolina National Guard with 7 Chinook helicopters that by October 3rd were delivering commodities and joining rescue and recovery efforts. It's a limited amount. Would you use a Chinook for a rescue? Chinook are those big ones that the big ones, right? That they can carry multiple passengers. Those are the ones that you see like when Special Forces. If I'm thinking of Lone Survivor, the 2 airplanes that came back to save them, one of them was shot down with is that a Chinook? The double blade? Okay, thank you. Chinooks are for sweat. Thank you. Appreciate it. These soldiers will be activated for as long as the mission requires. Leaders are actively engaged in planning the best way to use engineers coming from our active component. Soldiers who have been activated but not immediately deployed are preparing with rehearsals and developing movement and load plans. Okay, great. So you have people who are active, and those who are not active are back there practicing and preparing load plans. So the exact opposite of what this guy's saying. Cool.
Here. It is just the most disgusting thing, and they're killing these people. And I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know what kind of conspiracy. I've heard so many things, whatever you want to come up with, but they are literally...
I'd like to come up with one. There was a hurricane. It started in the Caribbean, and it came up, and it wiped North Carolina the fuck out. And they weren't ready for that. They hadn't experienced something like that. And nobody planned infrastructure in Western North Carolina around what happens if a hurricane comes through and destroys all the roads. And so now we've got to figure it out. That's my conspiracy theory. Call me crazy, but I think the hurricane conspired with Western North Carolina to destroy it. I think that's what happened. But let's see what he has.
Allowing these people to fucking die in the mountains right now because we can't get helicopters. They got money for everything else in the fucking world right now, but if they could just get us helicopters, we could fly out there and rescue these people. So I hope this video goes viral. I hope these politicians get fired. I hope people get pissed off.
You can't fire a politician, by the way. You have to vote them out. But yeah, now we're getting the hat off. Listen, I feel the same way you guys feel about me when I take my hat off. I was surprised the guy had hair.
They'll probably kick me out of the state of North Carolina for doing this, but you know what? I don't care, because if I can save one more life for it, it's fucking worth it.
If you get kicked out, you dumb bitch, then you're not going to be able to save one more life. Your video didn't do shit. You just did 5 minutes and 30 seconds of something that didn't need to be done. You could be out there working. I bet there's people right now loading supplies onto a helicopter while you're doing this. I bet there's somebody who is in need of somebody to go grab something right now while you're doing this. You took 5 minutes and 30 seconds. You didn't fact check a fucking thing. You said, I hope this goes viral, because you're sitting around and you don't have, like, you showed up and you thought, like, oh, there'll just be millions of helicopters and you'll just be able to walk out and pick one. And the right does not care about these people. If they cared about these people, they wouldn't spend all their time lying about these people. What they see is a hurricane, and they see an opportunity to go after Joe Biden. When virtually everybody, every governor involved has been like, yeah, actually, this has been... Brian Kemp's like, fuck, yeah, this has actually been pretty fucking great. They've actually done a really, really good job. North Carolina, yeah, they did a great job. Even Ron DeSantis, like, he tried to criticize them, but he's like, yeah, they gave us everything we needed here in Florida. Joe Biden knows what he's doing, and he put people around him that know what they're doing, and they prepare for things. They were prepared for this. They were prepared in advance. They were authorizing this. But how do you know? Like, how would you know? Do you know anybody that was predicting that this hurricane would destroy Western North Carolina, and that all the roads would be destroyed, that all the rivers would flood? I don't think so. I didn't hear it. I'm sure there were warnings as it approached. But like now you want us to guess what a hurricane's doing? And by the way, we better just like build 10 million helicopters. And we should just station them all around the country. That's what we need to do. We need to have helicopters. He's like, we have all this money. Yeah, well, we don't have helicopters. And it's not quick to build a helicopter. I don't know how long it takes to build a helicopter. Any of my friends here? I got some friends at Boeing. I could ask them. But how long do you think it takes to build a helicopter? There's another one forming. Yeah, we're looking at that. Looks like that's hitting Wednesday. This is another claim that was made. This is from a different post. This is from, let's see who posted this. This was from Mark Robinson's stupid claim. Mark Robinson said, when Hurricane Helene was on its way to North Carolina, Governor Cooper was too busy hobnobbing with rich folks in New York to care about preparing for the storm. Now Democrats like Cooper, Josh Stein, and Joe Biden want to hide behind bureaucratic resolutions that pass automatically instead of getting out there and working to help people in dire need. What would they do? What would they do? Any amount of funding requires that it be passed through bureaucrats or through elected officials, and then the bureaucrats are the ones that disperse the money. What do you want Joe Biden to do? You want Joe Biden out there on a helicopter? Joe Biden's orthotics are 8 inches thick. He didn't have the balance to be on a helicopter. You want Josh Stein and Cooper out there wading through the mud and the muck? What if somebody needs to get a hold of them? What if they need something? What if somebody is calling them for approval? Oh, sorry, Joe Biden stumbled out of a helicopter. Like, what do you want him? He had a hard time dismounting a bike. I love Joe Biden, but we don't need the last people I want on the front lines is the politicians. Maybe Chip Roy. I swear to God, if that helicopter comes near me, I will beat its ass. Hurricanes don't scare me. I scare hurricanes. I'm like, you get out there. He could stop it. He could do it. Let's get back to this fact check here. So Robinson made that stupid claim, but Mark Robinson's stupid too. I don't think we should ignore the fact that he's very stupid, and so we shouldn't be surprised when he does something that's very stupid. Amid campaign season, Robinson's claim that Cooper was hobnobbing with rich folks could give readers the impression that Cooper was at a fundraiser. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but he wasn't. Cooper was one of many speakers, including zoologist Jane Goodall, Al Roker, and Guyana President Mohammed Ifraan Ali, who spoke at the public event hosted by the New York Times. Cooper returned to North Carolina that same day. If he was in North Carolina, he could have stopped this. He could have battened down the hatches and drawn the swords and he could have fought off this hurricane, but he was hobnobbing with rich folks. Cooper was preparing for a possible weather emergency earlier on September 24th, long before the October 2nd date of Robinson's tweeting this. When he formally asked top members of the state's executive branch for emergency powers, which was granted. On September 27th, Robinson attended an event with the Republican Party of Moore County, a meet and greet at a Golden Corral. Come on. All right, we now, listen, Western North Carolina is the good old boys. They had a meet and greet at Golden Corral. You got to get over there and get yourself one of those biscuits before Mark Robinson gets in here. Every time Mark Robinson shows up at the Golden Corral, we run out of biscuits. So get yourself a biscuit and some what is that? Country fried steak, and you all want to get there before Mark Robinson does. Okay. And by the way, don't listen to his stories. Don't listen to any of his stories, and don't check his history on his phone. Golden Corral, listen, Golden Corral's not bad for as far as when I grew up, that was like a treat. If we went to Golden Corral, it was a special occasion. And I always chose it. Yeah, I always chose Golden Corral or Sizzler because you can get your own ice cream, eat the biscuit. Shut up, Mike. Shut up, Mike. All right, let me read some comments. Sorry, I've been struggling. Estelle says, did you hear about the recent gang bust in Los Angeles of the white supremacy group, the Peckerwoods? Yeah, we covered that on Friday. And I'm a child. I'm going to laugh every time I hear the words Peckerwoods. Luisa Duran, sorry for the accidental drop in Friday from Shelly and the MX Mexican immigrant. That's all right. Happy to have you. I like an accidental drop in. What is that? That's in. He calls Ice Cube calls the LAPD Peckerwood in one of his songs. I'm trying to remember the name of that song. One of my favorites. One of my favorite lines in any rap song is in that song. It's, she came in and had ass for days, bam, god damn. It's one of my favorite. I used to quote that when my parents weren't around. Casey says idolizing a politician is like believing the stripper really likes you. Good point. Jocelyn, how are people going to vote in all this destruction and displacement? It's a good question. What are the? Do we have any North Carolina folks here? What are the options for voting? Do you need a sugar mama asking for a friend? Send me your terms, Terry. Send me your terms. We'll talk about it. Cameron says you're going to need another team soon, so the Lions bandwagon would like to invite you to watch a successful football team this year. Watch it. I'm going to be. You guys understand if the 49ers right the ship, I'm going to be insufferable, right? Or insufferable, not unsufferable. Hope you know that, Skull. Shut up. Shut up, all of you. Shut up. All right. Below me, let me change the gift goal. Below me, there is or to my side is the Venmo and the Cash. If you want me to read your comments, I'd be happy to do so. Let's move on. What time is it? 11. Shit, it's flying. It's flying today. 11:15. Here's a message from Tom Tillis. I saw this morning, and son of a bitch. I keep doing the whole thing. Shut up! Don't laugh at that. There we go. This was a statement put out from Tom Tillis. He's the one of the senators from North Carolina. Still faithful. Thanks, Pete. Me too. My fellow North Carolinians, the destruction caused by Helene is incomprehensible and has left many communities in Western North Carolina absolutely devastated. The last thing that the victims of Helene need right now is political posturing, finger pointing, or conspiracy theories that only hurt the response effort. I like that, Tom Tillis. He's one of the T's. This is one of the people that is slated to take over from in the Senate for Mitch McConnell. This is one of the options. I appreciate that from Tom Tillis. Rarely do I appreciate things from him, but I do appreciate that. And then here's Jeff Jackson. He's a representative from North Carolina. He put out this video, I think this morning. Let me make sure on the date. Yeah, I put this out this morning. I just wanted you guys to see. This is an update from Representative Jeff Jackson. I'm not sure which district he represents, but here you go.
Hey folks, I'm just going to tell you what is actually happening in Western North Carolina because there's a lot of stuff flying around. I'm a major in the National Guard, just met with our top general, the head of FEMA, our governor, and the vice president. I asked the FEMA director how this disaster is different from others she's worked on, and she said it's about how wide the path of destruction is. For a sense of scale, here are the roads that are closed. This is a quarter of our state. This happened because these are the mountains. And in the mountains, the roads follow the rivers. So when the rivers flood, they can wash away the roads. You are looking at dozens of counties, hundreds of towns, thousands of communities. 90% of the folks who lost power now have it back, but that last 10% will be a major challenge. Dozens of water facilities are still offline. The Army Corps of Engineers is working on that. Sometimes it means rebuilding, sometimes it just means bringing in a generator to make sure they have power. The North Carolina National Guard is loading up their C-17s and flying them out there. We also have Black Hawk helicopters, but we don't have Chinooks. Those are the cargo helicopters. So the 82nd Airborne has brought in some of theirs, and the Connecticut National Guard has brought down some of theirs, and that has been incredibly useful. We now have the National Guard from 10 different states helping us out, in addition to the 82nd Airborne, the 18th Airborne Corps, and the 101st Airborne. That means we have thousands of soldiers on the ground, 700 folks from FEMA, another 2,000 federal workers from different departments, dozens of nonprofits, Red Cross, Salvation Army, Samaritan's Purse, they're all there. And let's address some specific rumors. No one's land is being taken by FEMA. FEMA doesn't even have the authority to do that. There's no blockade on private.
Oh, sorry, muted. I do want to point out that he mentioned Connecticut, which he doesn't like conspiracy theories, but I think the idea that Connecticut is also a state is a conspiracy theory. So I don't want him to go through without criticism. I'm not sure Connecticut's real.
FEMA doesn't even have the authority to do that. There's no blockade on private aid. There is an enormous amount of private aid rolling in. The only people being turned away are the ones headed down a road that's been destroyed, and a checkpoint is telling them, don't go that way. The road has been destroyed. If you want to bring in a private plane full of supplies, you can do that. The only issue is there's now triple the normal amount of air traffic because of all the planes bringing in supplies, and there have been a bunch of near misses in the air. So they're just asking folks, get in touch with the Emergency Operations Center, let them know you're coming, and the FAA will clear you to land. And contrary to what one of my coworkers in Congress suggested, the government did not create the hurricane. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but
the pause. Sorry, I know this is serious, but the pause, and I get the frustration. It's like when the ninth person in the row comes up and is like, back in the QAnon days, like, Hillary Clinton eats babies, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, I have to do this shit again. I just like the pause. For you guys, for anybody that's asking, this is it's Jeff Jackson. Is it Jeff Jackson? Yeah, Jeff Jackson. He's currently a congressman in North Carolina. I think he's running to be AG, and he likely is going to win as AG. But I just want to highlight that pause again.
Suggested.
Thank you for the gifted subs.
The government
also
did not create the hurricane. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but here we are. People on the internet can be pretty divisive, but the people on the ground are pulling together. And what they have accomplished in the last week is remarkable. And the support they're getting is just the beginning of a long-term commitment. And I will keep you posted.
Yeah. So great job by honestly a lot of politicians who have said, like, we're not doing this divisive shit right now. I hope that some Republicans are learning from this, like just exactly how fucked up your party became. Now you guys sat back and you watched your party lie about things, but like, I think you're like, oh, it's not the whole party, that's just the crazies. Well, the crazies are mainstream now. Again, how many of you saw a trad wife posting this type of shit this weekend? All of them, every one of them. They came out of where do trad wives meet? On Pinterest? Is that where they come together and do their? I don't know. Where do trad wives meet? Is that what most of your friends? Yeah, they're the loudest ones. Where do is it? Do you just go to like your local Hobby Lobby? Is that where it goes? Mama Tot? What's Mama Tot? Modor churches. Leave Pinterest alone. Sorry, Facebook groups. That's probably more accurate. In my basement. We don't have basements in Arizona, but if I ever get a basement, I'll open it up for trad wife meetings. Ash says my Venmo's suspended from suspect activity. / dirty jokes. Anybody else get their Venmo suspended for suspicious activity or dirty jokes? Johnson says Trump ducked Cooper when Hurricane Matthew hit, only giving him 1% of what he asked. Yeah, that's right. It's 100% true. I think that I don't remember what the total numbers were. It was less than 1%. Good point, Johnson. It was like 0.8% or like point. I don't remember what it was. I played the video on, I think on Friday. It was Thursday. You did. You Cash App got suspended. What is Mega Tot? What are you guys talking about? What is Mama Tot? All right, look, one person can come up and tell me what Mama Tot is. I see Merp in the box. Merp, if you're opposition, go ahead and stay there. Somebody's going to have to explain to me what Mama Tot is. Oh, is she a TikToker? All right, let's just look it up. All right, don't worry about it. Don't jump in. I'm just going to look her up. We'll see. I bet I can find her on Twitter. Let's see. Mama Tot. Okay. This is bad news. It looks like their stuff is all getting taken down. Thank you, new subscriber. Mama Tot. That's someone from Norway. See media. Do I have it spelled right? She's not. I know people would have to put her stuff on Twitter, right? Let's see. All right, somebody, Jen, do you have a Mama Tot link? Jen will get me one. She has feral followers. You don't want their smoke. Oh, no. Ophelia in TikTok? Hey, Jen.
She's a very large creator. She has been pretty well known for like a lot of her positive takes. She's got millions of followers. I don't remember how many. But she, for the most part, her content is positive stuff, and she'll do this like sit down, have a meal, and talk.
Sorry, started playing. Go ahead.
Talk with people. But her and Officer Udi, they went and made videos the last couple of days talking about that they could have done more.
Okay, let me see if any of these are it. Let's see.
Leave this here because this is where I like.
Is this what it is?
That's her, yeah. I think she took down the video that everyone's pissed off about.
Oh shit, she's angry.
Shut up, Jax! Let me tell you something. This is not me. Anybody that's following.
All right. If anybody has the real video, send it to Jen on Discord. Get her off my screen.
Hers has gotten missing, but Officer Udi, his video is still up. And it's just all the misinformation that you've seen and heard from all kinds of people. So she's gotten a lot of heat from it. But her video was from I didn't see it, but I heard it was bad. So
let's see. Somebody said check my guys. If you send it to my DM, send it to my Discord DM if you have it. Or Jen,
send it to Discord or send it to me.
Somebody said they might have sent it. If you want to check my DMs on TikTok, it might be in there.
Yeah, well, she took it down, but I'll check the DMs.
Okay. I don't know anything about that. I was off TikTok all weekend, so thanks, Jen.
So I mean, I think Udi's is still up. I'll send it to you, but it's just they've gotten so much heat because they've got millions of followers and they're just saying all the untrue things. So
all right, well, this is good. Let me take this down. All right, I got to get you out of here so I can get rid of my screen. I don't know what this is. If it has the H word in it, I don't know. That was apparently not Mama Tot. You put the vid in Discord, Peyton? Where? Just barely? All right, here it is. All right, we'll play it. Move it over here. All right. You guys, this isn't going to get me in trouble, right? I'm going to be okay here. This isn't going to get me in trouble. Let's make this screen bigger.
Figured I would leave this here because this is where I like to drop off my, I don't know, for like 20 days now, my grief has just been, really bad.
That's not it?
And
is this not
for the
it?
past
I was
couple
going to say, I don't know what she's talking about. 20 days. It wasn't 20 days ago. Is it where she's in a black? Oh, there's the one from PJ. Let's see if this is it. Thank you. Let's see if this one's it.
You ain't mad.
Is this it? Is this it? She's wearing a black dress, so this is the one? Okay, I think this is it. So maybe somebody clipped this. This is like a minute long. All right, let's see this one.
Because I'm mad as hell. You know that mad that you just get so angry that you just cry about it? You're so mad you just cry about it. That's how mad I am.
No.
Like,
I don't know about that.
They have lost everything. Everything. Imagine walking outside of your house and seeing nothing.
I'm just saying, tell me she doesn't sound exactly like April. I love Miss April. Miss April, if you're here, I love you, but she sounds just like you.
That you ever worked hard for, just gone. I've seen houses just completely just slide down the mountain. I'm seeing people making videos because they can't find family members. How are they supposed to apply for something if they don't have electricity that does not get their baby fed in this moment? Like, the job they had, the building is gone. Like, how is nobody mad? I'm so fucking mad.
So this is her saying so this is the edited one, I'm guessing, because I don't really, I didn't have an issue with any of that. Is this one any different?
You ain't mad?
I think it's the same one.
Because I'm mad as hell.
Yeah, it's the same one. I don't know. Sorry. I'll try and find it. I had no idea about this. We'll move on. I could see that. I could see getting. Is that what she's saying? She's mad because she thinks the government is not helping. Is that the problem? She's just mad. Look, let me check. There was a couple friend requests coming, so maybe that was what this was. Let's see. Nope. All right. Well, I don't have it. She's a Trumper. You're always a Trumper. Great. Good. We need more Trumpers in this world. All right, let's move on. Let's move on past the hurricane for now. I'm going to go. Kamala Harris went and this was part of the conspiracy, though. Kamala Harris went and did Call Me Daddy, which is a podcast. I forget you guys can help me with the creator's name. I forget her name. Interesting story with her. She actually started on her own. She was kind of like brought into fame by Barstool Sports. Alex Cooper, thank you. She was brought on by Barstool Sports, and then when it came time to renegotiate, she was just like, nah, I can do better on my own. Probably the biggest loss Barstool had, and she's been incredibly successful. Her podcast isn't meant for me. It's not something I watch regularly. I've seen clips. I think she's funny. I think she's intelligent. She's obviously made a nice brand. I know she talks about relationships. I know she talks about sex. And so naturally, all the Republicans were calling it a porn podcast for some reason. They're all like, Vice President Harris went on a porn podcast instead of helping the hurricane victims, which was stupid. But there were two clips that I pulled from this. I haven't finished the whole interview yet, but there were two clips that I had that I really liked. First, this one. And I just think this is important, especially knowing Alex Cooper's audience and who's going to be hearing this. I think sometimes people aren't like politically active until they hear something that is outrageous. And this is one of those things. This is one of the things that Trump's doing that it is outrageous. And I think that it actually drives people to the polls. Here's Kamala Harris being asked specifically about abortion.
I do want to clarify something. In the debate, former President Trump claimed that some states are executing babies after birth. Can you just clarify?
That is not happening anywhere in the United States. It is not happening, and it's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie that he is suggesting that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? He is suggesting that women in their 9th month of pregnancy are electing to have an abortion? Are you kidding? That is so outrageously inaccurate, and it's so insulting.
I will say this, a little confusing how she positioned this. She moved subjects. She first talked about like post-birth abortion, whatever the fuck that is. And now she's talking about the abortions all the way up to the 9th month. So she did pivot without being asked a new question. I just want to be clear there. But exactly, it's offensive to say. And I've tried to. You try and do this with these pro-life folks, or just anti-women folks. Let's just call them that. You try and explain that like you don't know anybody. Your friends don't know anybody. Your friends' friends don't know anybody who got to the 8th or 9th month of pregnancy and was like, fuck it. I don't know a single story like that. I've never heard one. And if that story existed, you better believe it would be Fox News every day. They would lead with that. Trump would lead with that. Every rally he went to, he would cite that exact story. They don't even have like a one-off that they can talk about. I've never once heard a story of somebody in the 8th or 9th month just saying, fuck it, get an abortion, and then the doctor performing an abortion. It just doesn't happen. And she's right. It is insulting. It's incredibly insulting to women, and it's even more insulting when it's specifically like a woman who has had a child, who has gone through pregnancy, to even have the audacity to say that. I think people want to be the hero. They want to think that like they're so strong for making that choice. But the truth is, none of this is happening.
To suggest that that would be happening and that women would be doing that. It's not happening anywhere. This guy is full of lies. I mean, I just have to be very candid with you. You know, so in my career, from the time I got out of law school through most of my career as a prosecutor, I understood that the words that I spoke and what I did with those words would be the difference between whether somebody was charged with a crime or went to prison, maybe prison for life. When I was Attorney General, I was the top law enforcement officer of the biggest state in this country. And I was acutely aware that the words I spoke could be the difference between whether a corporation was in business or out of business, that the words I spoke could move markets. The idea that someone is not only so careless and irresponsible and reckless, but out and out lies to create fear and division in our country, and thinks he should be president of the United States standing behind the seal of the president of the United States using the microphone that comes with that, and using that voice and those words in such an irresponsible, and that's mild, way. And this is why this election matters.
So she was criticized heavily for this interview by Republicans. And I do want to point out that, like, if I just went, watch this. If I go, if I type in Kamala, it's call her daddy, right? Like, just look at the tweets that'll come up here. This is how Republicans reacted to this. Let me get the ones that aren't left leaning. It's going to show me. Let's see. Now it's going to give me all the lefties. Damn it. Oh yeah. So here's the Call Her Daddy teaser for Kamala's interview is out. Here's an example of the filth they regularly have on the podcast. A normal woman should be ashamed doing this. I don't know what that is. I'm afraid to play that. Kamala Harris, Clay Travis. First of all, I know that a couple of our listeners know Clay Travis. And if anybody sees Clay Travis, tell Clay Travis I said fuck you. And also you should debate somebody, you big coward. Kamala Harris and the Call Her Daddy chick attempt to come up with any governmental law that controls a man's body, but they say there isn't one, then laugh. The correct answer is yes, the draft. That doesn't control your body. That is not, has no effect on your bodily autonomy. And also it hasn't been used in forever. Anyways, what they were complaining about is that that Kamala is going on these podcasts. She's going on Howard Stern, I think today or tomorrow. And they're like, she's doing all these podcasts that aren't even political. I didn't hear a fucking word from them when Donald Trump was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Donald Trump went on Sneako's podcast. Donald Trump went on the Nelk Brothers podcast. Donald Trump has went on, didn't he go on with Logan Paul? Like, this is what's so crazy about these folks. Like, Call Her Daddy is incredibly successful. There's a massive audience there. And she wants that message to go across political lines, which is smart. And frankly, what Trump is doing, also smart. But they never hold that same energy. I didn't see any of them pulling up clips from Sneeko. I didn't see that. I didn't see him be like, hey, remember how Sneeko's like a virulent anti-Semite and hates women? Remember that? We're not going to pull up any of those clips, are we? I liked that he did, Theo Vaughn. Yeah, who came to watch in the Cybertruck? Steve will do it and the Nelk brothers. Yeah, Aiden Ross. Yeah, it was Aiden Ross's. Yeah, that's right. It was Aiden Ross's stream. Sneeko was just there. Thank you, guys. Aiden Ross. Sneeko ran from Dean. Of course he did. Sneeko's an idiot. Sneeko's a shock jock. All those guys are idiots. But they're really good at like messaging to idiots. They're really, really good at that. Second clip I wanted to show from the same one is a great response. And by the way, Alex Cooper, great questions. This is a great question with context. The way she asked this question and the context that's with it shows you Alex Cooper takes her job seriously. Like she's going to ask difficult questions. Here's the one. Here's I think a question that all of us should have been asking. And I know some of you have brought this up before, but I think this should be everywhere.
I want to ask you a question because again, in speaking about women, there has been a very big fixation on biological children, stepchildren, women that have children versus women that don't have children. It's like a huge point somehow of this entire election, right? I saw the governor of Arkansas said, "My kids keep me humble." Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble. How did that make you feel?
I don't think she understands that there are a whole lot of women out here who, one, are not aspiring to be humble. Two, a whole lot of women out here who have a lot of love in their life, family in their life, and children in their life. And I think it's really important for women to lift each other up. You know, I'll tell you, Alex, one of the things that I have really enjoyed about where the discussion has gone, one of the places it's gone, we have our family by blood, and then we have our family by love. And I have both. And I consider it to be a real blessing. And I have two beautiful children, Cole and Ella, who call me Mamala. We have a very modern family. My husband's ex-wife is a friend of mine, you know, and also I'll tell you, look, I'm a child of divorced parents. And when I started dating Doug, my husband, I was very thoughtful and sensitive to making sure that until I knew that our relationship was something that was going to be real, I didn't want to form a relationship with the kids and then walk away from that relationship. My own experience tells me that, you know, children form attachments and you really want to be thoughtful about it. And so I waited to meet the kids. And they are my children. And I love those kids to death. And family comes in many forms. And I think that increasingly, you know, all of us understand that, you know, this is not the 1950s anymore. Families come in all kinds of shapes and forms.
Excuse me, muted. It's such an incredible answer, and she was able to do it with grace, and explain like what a modern family looks like. But not only that, like she's friends with the ex, right? She was careful. As somebody who is a single dad, who maybe someday will have to introduce somebody to my daughter. Like you guys know, you never see my daughter. You'll never see my daughter. You won't see her on my Instagram. You won't see her on TikTok. You'll never see her from me. I will never be posting pictures of my daughter because that's the relationship but more importantly, she says like kids form attachments. You know, if you come in and you meet kids and the kids love you and then you're gone, like that's just more abandonment. It's really, really smart stuff from Kamala, but also just shows how thoughtful she is. how much she thinks about the decisions she makes. This is the third or fourth time now in this interview, in the two clips that we've watched, where she's referenced that, like, my words have impact. Because of my position, my words have impact. So I'm constantly being careful about what I say with my words. I would challenge any Trump supporter in here. I dare you, and I'll pay you $100 if you can find me a clip of Donald Trump talking about his kids in that way. In that way, like, as humans, like, I respected my children enough to give them space, and they don't call me mom, it's Mamala, and I developed those relationships later, and there's the family that is blood and the family that is by choice. As somebody who most of my family is by choice because I'm adopted, that resonated with me. And sometimes I think that people like Sarah Huckabee Sanders don't understand that not everybody was raised with a silver spoon in their mouth by a white supremacist, alt-right Christian dad, and that just by having your name, you were able to win the governorship. I don't think there's anything humble about Sarah B. Huckabee Sanders. Homely, sure. Humble? I don't think so. What's humble about Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Have you ever seen her take criticism? See how she reacts to criticism? Freaks the fuck out. She just yells at people. Remember when she had that lectern? She bought that lectern basically just to help her friend out, to pay her friend. And then when people had the audacity to question her, she's like, "Oh, why are you guys even asking these questions? I want to talk about real issues." You know how much the right wing has to say? You know how often the right wing has to say, I don't want to talk about this. Let's talk about real issues. That's what right-wingers have to say all the time, because they're constantly on the defense, either because their president or their choice for president says awful things, or because they did. And when they do get cornered, none of them ever address it. And that's the Republicans that are here too. I hope there's some Republicans here. You guys are the same way. You're the exact same way. And it's not necessary, like, it's your fault that you don't have the courage to not be that way, but you also have to defend literally the shittiest people, the dumbest and the shittiest people. So I understand why you don't want to talk about their record very often. I understand why you guys resort to conspiracy theories. I understand why you resort to saying things about Kamala the way that you do, but we see through it. Hannibal, welcome. Maybe. Hey. Hannibal is gone. I see BS2 in the request. I'll bring you guys up, but I'm going to be real quick rather than make you wait. BS2, welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
I didn't actually request intentionally. I'm a Kamala supporter.
All right, I appreciate that. I love that about you. To steal that line from Jeffrey, I love that about you. Thanks. Come back on Friday, though. I'd love to hear from you. Here is an interesting clip I got from CNN this morning. CNN's been going through some polling. If you look, I actually didn't even look at the polls yet today. I don't know what polls came out this weekend. I was so enthralled with the hurricane that I forgot to check polls, but let me pull this up real quick. This was a CNN clip from this morning. I believe it was from this morning. Could have been from yesterday. Let me get that up for you here. Also, let me read the comments. Eric says, why the Connecticut hate? Eric, I don't hate Connecticut. I don't like that there's so many states on the East Coast, and I'm not always sure which one is which on the map. So what I do is I make fun of your states, and that's a way to cover up my lack of knowledge of exactly where your state is. And then nobody has to realize that it's just because I don't know where things are. And so it's just a deflection method so that you guys don't know that I'm dumb. Jessica says, how about them Arizona Cardinals? How about shut up, Jessica? How about that? Fucking Arizona. Oh, by the way, you guys are really going to talk? Our kicker broke his fucking leg. If we had a kicker, we win the game. We went for like 4th and 23 from the 30 because we didn't have a kicker. Yeah, I mean, congratulations. You broke our kicker's leg. I don't want to hear about it from Arizona fans today. How dare you? Sorry, Jessica. I'm a little salty. I apologize for taking that out on you. All right, perfect. By the way, just somebody said it in here. Shut up, Kristen. Somebody in here said that Call Her Daddy invited Donald Trump, and Donald Trump declined that interview. I wonder why. Anyways, here's some interesting stuff that they're getting out of the polls recently with CNN. Shocking. Honestly, pretty shocking stuff here. I thought with Biden that we had kind of captured some of these people, and that was the extent of the capture. But you just look at the voters Kamala's capturing compared to Hillary and Biden.
White college grads have been this group that have been moving further and further to the left. All right, this is the Democratic margin among white college grads. Look, Hillary Clinton won him by 5 points. Then Joe Biden won him by 9. Look at this margin that Kamala Harris is pulling up in the polls right now among white college grads. It's an 18-point margin, double the margin that Joe Biden.
I'm sorry. I didn't show you the video. I'm sorry. Let me rewind.
White college grads have been this group that have been moving further and further to the left. All right, this is the Democratic margin among white college grads. Look, Hillary Clinton won him by 5 points. Then Joe Biden won him by 9. Look at this margin that Kamala Harris is pulling up in the polls right now among white college grads. It's an 18-point margin, double the margin that Joe Biden had just 4 years ago. I went back through the record books. This would be the largest win for a Democratic presidential candidate among white college grads in recorded history. That is all the way back since the early 1950s. You could probably go back even further. But the bottom line is that Kamala Harris, amongst this group, is doing ridiculously well, and is one of the main reasons that she has been able to counter Donald Trump's rising support among voters without a college degree. It's because she's doing very well among white voters with a college degree.
What about all voters, not just white voters?
All right, so we looked at white voters with a college degree. How about all voters with a college degree? It's basically the same story. It's historically high support for a Democratic candidate. You see right now Kamala Harris leads in the polls by 21 points. That's 3 points higher than Joe Biden did 4 years ago. At 6 points higher than Hillary Clinton did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, educated people like Harris. That's crazy. People who can read. Yeah.
8 years ago. The bottom line is this, Mr. Berman. The electorate is becoming more polarized along education, and Democrats, at least among those with a college degree, are the beneficiaries of it.
Someone said it was because of Roe. No, look, this is where we at in this video. This is 123, so I remember that. Look, a 3-point increase from Clinton to Biden, another 3-point from Harris to Biden. Like this, it's not. That's the thing. Like I don't actually think this is about Roe. You look at these numbers. This one could be. White college grads, that could be. But if we're looking at just college graduates in general, it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 every year. So I don't know if that's just because of Roe.
Degree are the beneficiaries.
It's because of literacy.
And Kamala Harris is doing historically well for a Democrat among voters with a college degree.
Better than ever among voters with a college degree. How many voters do have a college degree?
Right. So this is the second part, the key nugget here. An increasing share of the electorate. You know, you go back.
This was surprising to me. I would have expected this number to go down. To be honest, I was actually surprised by this number.
44 years ago, just 21% of the electorate had a college degree. You go back 24 years ago, 31%. You go back 4 years ago, you're up to 40%. This year, it looks like a historically high proportion of the electorate. 41% will have a college degree. You know who those voters are. They're in the suburbs of places like
Nancy.
Philadelphia, of Detroit. You go, obviously, to Madison, Wisconsin, right? A rising tide, more and more voters with a college degree. It's what flipped the great state of, part of what flipped the great state of Georgia, right? Those voters with a college degree in the suburbs of Atlanta. This is a big reason Kamala Harris is still in the race right now, because even though she is losing a little bit of support among voters without a college degree, she's gaining rapidly among those with a college degree, specifically white voters with a college degree. Either way you look at it, historically high support at this particular moment.
Put it in one sentence, more voters than ever with a college degree. She's doing better than ever with voters with a college degree.
That's exactly right, Mr. Berman. That is the great thing we're going to be watching down the stretch of this campaign. Does Donald Trump, the support that he's pulling among working class, counteract the support that Kamala Harris is gaining among those with a college degree? That's the battle going down the stretch. At this point, we're not sure which side's going to come out on top.
Major.
It's literally a battle between people who can read and people who can look at data. Thank you for those. Thank you for the gifted subs there, Tweaks. Appreciate it. This is literally just if you're smart, you're probably going to vote for Kamala. If you're educated, if you're not, you're going to be told that all the educated people are just indoctrinated, which is kind of funny, right? When they say like, oh, colleges just indoctrinate you. Yeah, with knowledge though, like with things that are real. And if you don't go to college, you're indoctrinated with things that aren't real, right? Like in college, you get indoctrinated with things like science. Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a real math. Oof. Math, geography, political science. Like, part of the reason that Donald Trump's campaign is so helter-skelter and so hard to predict is that you have a bunch of like uneducated people there, and they're messaging to uneducated people. And this is where I think Trump's going to have a problem, because educated people are sliding towards Kamala. He needs educated people to vote for him. Like, the GOP isn't entirely uneducated, but I will tell you this, that when you look at the leaders who don't like Trump, those are usually the most educated people in the party. The people with the most experience, the most education, they're like, oh yeah, we've seen this before. But will men show up for her? I don't know, Fee. It's a good question. We should. I think if she doesn't win, I think that's what we're going to look at. I think that's what the exit polling will show. I think if Kamala doesn't win, it will show that men failed her 100% and failed our country, frankly. It's silly. I saw there's some Republicans here, so I'll just bait you into the box if you want to talk. I can tell you there's not a single solitary reason to vote for Donald Trump. Not one. Anything you believe about Donald Trump and why you want to vote for him, I can almost assuredly tell you that that's based on a lie or based on a narrative that just isn't true. There is not a single reason to vote for that man. Not one. And I challenge anybody that's in there. Look, I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm giving you the leg up. Just tell me. Tell me something factual. Give me a factual reason why you would vote for him. I bet you can't. I bet all you can tell me is that you'll all say the same thing. The economy was better under Trump, which is arguable, first of all. Or there's no new war started under Trump, which not really true. There you go. Villar, I see Villar, are you opposition? I see you there. I'm just taking opposition right now. If you are, go ahead and stay there. If not, hop out of the box. Give me 1 second. I'll switch off this screen. Gas prices were lower. Yeah, again. Yeah, and is that an argument? No, it's not. We've covered this multiple times. It's not an argument. No tax on overtime and tips is a big one. How's he gonna get? By the way, even if he got that done, that would be done through Congress. I don't know if he's gonna get that done. I don't think he will. At least not in the way that he wants. It'd be interesting to see what's voted on there. What a bill like that looked like. Gas is at $2.85. Yeah. Wash, rinse, repeat, Daniel. Yeah. They claim the world's on fire. Yeah, that's right. World War III. Everything. It's just fucking scare tactics over and over and over again. One thing, let's be honest about this. In Arizona, Ruben Gallego, I saw him yesterday. I was right about his hair, by the way. I was right about his hair. It's a wild comb over. He's not debating Kari Lake, and I hate personally. I think it's the wrong move. I'm just going to go out and say that. Their reason for not debating Kari Lake is that Kari Lake is an unabashed liar, and that debating her is nonsense because it's not a debate. She's just going to keep repeating crazy story after crazy story after crazy story. And in this clip, I'll show you she does do that. However, I still think you should show up and debate. I think it's the wrong move. I think Gallego is playing it too safe in Arizona. I think that if he were out there a little bit more and could get some debate clips against Kari Lake, I think that helps him. Maybe he's not a strong debater. I don't know. I can't remember ever seeing him. I can't ever remember seeing him debate. But Jen, well, I see your message. We'll talk about that later. I'm not sure what you're getting at. But here's Kari Lake. So Kari Lake then says, I'm going to challenge you to a debate with PBS. He's like, no. So she shows up and in her claim is like, oh, I showed up. He didn't. And so this is a debate against herself. And somehow Kari Lake figures out a way to lose a debate against herself, which is phenomenal. On PBS, by the way. The PBS guy.
Move on. I want to move on. Listen, I want you to know, and I want the people out there to know, we are.
Yeah, you said Hobbs didn't debate and Hobbs won. I agree. I just think that it is a safe move. I think you eliminate making a mistake on the debate stage. I'm just not a fan of it. I think if you, especially given where Kari Lake is on facts, I do think that you could make a better case and potentially win more votes. But I also think that as voters here in Arizona, we deserve to hear it. I would like to hear Ruben Gallego debate. I really would. I'm going to vote for Ruben Gallego, but I wish he would have debated.
We are going to keep the Trump tax cuts. You're going to extend the Trump tax cuts. We're going to continue them. We're going to extend them. Yes, you're going to extend them. Ted and my opponent, Ruben Gallego, wants to.
Ted is the guy, the moderator here, not a debate, I guess, interviewer. Ted works for PBS. Ted is, nobody really knows what party Ted is from. So now she's doing this thing like where the media is against me. So he asks a question about like the Trump tax cuts, and now she's going after him because this is all they know how to do. Like none of them actually know how to answer a question. They just know how to deflect and blame the media. That's what Carrie Lake does every time. So when asked a serious question, she's going to naturally attack the media. How dare you ask me a question?
We're going to extend them.
Yes, you're going to extend them.
Ted and my opponent, Ruben Gallego, wants to get rid of them. And what that's going to do is every Arizonan, it'll cost you $2,700 more a year if we get rid of them. Ted wants to get rid of them. And so does my opponent. And I'm sorry that they feel that way, but I want you to know I will go to Washington, D.C. and fight to keep and extend the Trump tax cuts and then go further. We're not going to tax your Social Security anymore. We're not going to tax your overtime pay, nor will we tax your tips. We are going to free you up to spend the money you earn and the money you have earned so that you can do better. Ted isn't for that.
We're going to blast your ass with tariffs. So don't worry about that. And we're gonna ruin public education, which is going to cost millions of dollars. That number she floated of $2,700. That $2,700 figure is the average what the average American saved with the Trump tax cuts. But if you just take that out the average and you say, well, how did it work for middle class people? It was like $300 or $400. That only applies when you bring in the millionaires and billionaires and how much they saved. But if you take out the millionaires and billionaires, the average American saved very little with the Trump tax cut.
For that, and my opponent, Ruben Gallego, is not.
Please stop saying that. Please stop.
You're obviously not.
No, it's not obvious at all. Please stop saying that. It's not true.
Well, you're not for it.
It's not true. Okay.
So you are for it.
It's not.
Are you for?
True. It doesn't matter what I think. This is about you,
well,
Carrie.
You're certainly making the argument for trying to get rid of them.
I'm trying to get you to explain yourself. You better be able to explain yourself if you're going to be a United States Senator.
Thank you, Ted.
Okay.
Thank you for lecturing me. I appreciate it.
You betcha, no problem. As far as
she's despicable. She's just a terrible, terrible representation of America. She's a joke. She's asked a question, the simplest fucking question you could ask. Hey, you support these tax cuts. You want to extend the tax cuts. She could say, yes, I do, because I believe that people deserve a tax cut. Great answer. Move on, Carrie Lake. But they can't do that. She has to go after Ted, whoever the fuck Ted is, from PBS. I don't know Ted's political leanings, but she's like, I want to tell you people that Ted, because this is what she does. Go pull up any Carrie Lake question right now. And what she does is she looks, and then as soon as she's done getting the question, she looks directly into the camera and she goes, I want you to know that the fake news media and the communist Marxist leftists, and then whatever her fucking answer is. She's so programmed to attack the media and the left instead of giving an answer that she goes after this guy, and he's just like, you can't answer questions? I'm just asking. That's not even a hard question. Hey, do you support Trump's tax cuts? If you're a Republican, the answer is yes. Yeah, it's 8v1 and I was fact-checked. Wasn't even fact-checked. Just answer the fucking question. It is not that hard. You guys want to cut taxes, right? Yes. Why? Because we want Americans to keep more of their hard-earned money. Now, it's untrue, but that's the answer. But nope, not for MAGA. That's never enough for MAGA. Now we got to go after the moderator too and say, everybody's against us. And the reason you need me is because everybody's against me and I've got the guts to stand up. I don't think it takes guts to be a fucking idiot. I don't think it takes guts to be a fucking idiot and stand there as an idiot and double down as an idiot. That's not guts. That's not the courage. That's the courage that I think old dump truck face Sarah Huckabee Sanders was talking about. That's the courage she's talking about. The courage to stand against the truth and never allow facts into the conversation. I have courage. I have so much courage that even though I lose every court case, I keep doubling down on it. I keep doubling down on these lies. And every chance I get to go to Mar-a-Lago and kiss the orange turd, I do it. Oh, left eye Huckabee. Sorry, I wasn't very nice about Huckabee. I hate her. I hate her so much. I wouldn't say these things if she didn't suck. All right, now I want to introduce you. This is from Mother Jones. I want to introduce you. Weren't you guys with me on Friday with Jeff? And we had the Phil bro come in who wants to debate abortion as if it's some like philosophical theory that we have to test out. You guys, I do feel good that you guys are meaner about Huckabee than I am. There's a new group of people being called the Theo Bros, and there's a couple of them on here. I don't remember who it was. There's somebody on here. They're like their background is always like I'm tired of atheists or something like that, and like God is real. I don't know who it is. I watched him the other day. Stacy, by the way, I'll read a couple comments. Stacy says a Niners loss always softens the blow of a Seahawks loss. See you on Thursday. Oh, we have Thursday night this week? All right, see you on Thursday. See you on Thursday. Not next Tuesday. See you on this Thursday. All right, so Mother Jones put out this video. This is introducing us to the Theo Bros. And you may be surprised to know that the Theo Bros are directly connected to both Project 2025 and JD Vance. Wait, what the shit? Oh yeah, it is here. Okay, let me pull it. All right.
Yes, there are.
All right, this is from Mother Jones. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's about a 5-minute video. I'll stop in between. In the meantime, if you guys want me to read your messages, I only checked one side. The Cash App and Venmo are there. We are close to the gift goal. I'll update that in a second. We're close on that. So I appreciate you guys' generosity. But here's 5 minutes explaining the new group of folks called the Theo Bros.
Yes, there are Christian nationalist influencers. Let me introduce you to the Theo Bros.
We can't force people to have faith in Christ, but we can as a people order that.
I'd rather have a Christian monarchy than our current state of affairs.
We could argue that now is the time to arms again.
So
all three of those, by the way, William Wolf is one of the authors of Project 2025. The other guys were Stephen Wolf, his brother, one of the authors, and then Joel Wiebon, who is an influencer. He's also involved in a lot of these meetings for Project 2025. He's not an author, I don't believe, but he's involved in the meetings. So that's who we're seeing.
Our current state of affairs.
If you follow Jenny Cohn, you know who these people are.
Now is the time to arms again.
So the Theo Bros are a group of mostly millennial Christian pastors and influencers. Many of them, most of them even, will tell you that they are Christian nationalists.
We are indeed Christian nationalists.
They're purposely extreme and extremely online, so they're obviously connected to JD Vance.
There's this group called the Rockbridge Network. JD Vance was a founder. Peter Thiel is involved, and also this guy Chris Buskirk.
And then of course Chris Buskirk, a great friend of mine,
who was involved in American Reformer, which is kind of the unofficial magazine of the Theo Bros. I think it's important to say that not all of them hold every belief. That being said, I think some common beliefs that I have encountered are that we should be repealing the 19th Amendment. They'll talk about the dead Constitution and how the Ten Commandments should take its place.
I want a Christian nation more than a republic.
I think all 10 commandments should be legislated and enforced.
Some of them talk about prison reform, and by
I was thinking about this the other day. He said all 10 commandments need to be legislated and enforced. I want you guys, let's go through the 10 commandments here real quick. I've been meaning to do this. Do you guys know the 10 commandments off the top of your head? Oh, that bearded dude. He looks like Matt. He reminds me of Matt Walsh. I don't remember them in order. I used to know them in order. So I'm gonna pull them up. Wait, where did it go? There we go. PragerU. I'm on PragerU for the 10 commandments. Nobody's going to list this shit out. Why do we all need videos for what the 10 commandments are? Let me just try a different search. I got a sneeze coming. They usually come in two. Didn't come in two there. All right. So I'm the Lord thy God. Have no other gods before me. I just want to point out, like, Donald Trump is literally putting his face and his name on the Bible. I just want to see how many of these Donald Trump has broken. Thou shalt not take the name of thy Lord thy God in vain. Again, he does that regularly, but also uses it to prop himself up. Thou shalt keep the Sabbath day holy. Come on now. That man's never been to church in his life. Honor thy father and mother. I think that's one he's keeping. when your parents are schmotzies and you wind up leading the Republican Party, I think that I think they'd be happy about that. I do think he's honoring his father and mother, even though it's not in the way we'd like. Thou shalt not kill. I think so far it's probably true that he's avoided that. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Oh no. Oh no. Thou shalt not steal. Oh no. Children's charities. Or cancer charities. Oh no. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. They want these in the books. Why? Like this is just like all the things Trump's done. Do not let thyself lust after thy neighbor's wife. I moved on her like a bitch. A married woman. That's what he said. I moved on her like a bitch. It's Trump's words about a married woman. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, nor his farm, nor his cattle, nor anything else that is his. Now, farm or cattle, maybe not so much. Cattle, I think there's some Alabamians who, that's a pretty cow over there. That's a right pretty cow over there. But thy neighbor's house, yeah, like he and Jeffrey Epstein stopped being friends about a real estate deal, by the way. So, anyways, I just want to point out that the 10 Commandments that they uphold, like they're literally out there, like everybody out there is doing this shit. The guy who got Trump the Christian endorsement, shit, will you guys help me with his name one more time? Liberty University guy. Why do I forget his name every single time? Who's the Liberty University guy? Son of a bitch. Somebody help me here. Not Graham. Falwell. Thank you, Jerry Falwell. The whole reason that Trump got an endorsement is because the Falwells were having an affair, and Michael Cohen threatened them. And so they're like, fine, we'll endorse Trump. There you go. Anyways, I'll keep going here.
By prison reform, they mean public flogging instead of prison. Some of them talk about executing heretics. Involved in that is also execution of gay people.
But it's not just online. They're doing conferences, writing books, doing events.
One of the things that's been interesting lately is that some of their events have started to overlap with some events of more kind of mainstream politicians. And I think probably the most prominent example was the National Conservatism Conference, where you had Doug Wilson speaking at this conference.
And of course, coming to the high treachery, you were all no doubt anticipating I would address, make all our teens woke by means of chemtrails.
And you had J.D. Vance speaking there.
America is a...
Chemtrails are making us woke now? Yeah, you guys heard that right. Chemtrails, the chemical trail, the planes that are leaving chemtrails, it's turning us woke now. And then J.D. Vance gets up there just like, yeah, no, this is where I'm at. I'm at the same place. Look, same place.
Chemtrails.
And you had J.D. Vance speaking there.
America is a nation. It is a group of people with a common history and a common future.
Now, if Theo Bros are kind of the millennial posters of the Christian nationalist movement, Doug Wilson is sort of like the boomer who passed the torch.
He has sort of built his own little Christian fiefdom in Moscow, Idaho. He has this church. He has, helped to start a school, like a K through 12 school there.
It is ironic that it's in Moscow. And they say Moscow, not Moscow in Idaho. I've been to Moscow when I was a Mormon missionary. It's right by Pullman, Washington. But it is ironic that the fiefdom of Christian nationalism is in Moscow. I just throwing that out there.
He has a college there, New St. Andrews College, that he's helped to found as well.
Now, it's this community in Idaho that he's built that Theo Bros see as sort of a blueprint for what a Christian America could and should look like.
Creating a legal framework in which people could create intentional communities where they could build something new would be a good idea to allow people to experiment.
Just like
that already exists.
So too do many of the other Theo Bros want to do this in various places in the United States.
But he's also built this other type of blueprint for Christian nationalist influencing.
He was telling me about how he has his kids helping him produce these very slick videos.
The left is the cancer and Trump is the chemo.
He's taking some of these ideas.
Trump is the chemo. It's the first time Trump's ever been a solution to anything. What? All right. And that's what he's trying to say too. That's how they justify Trump. They're like, we need somebody in there that can break down barriers standing in our way. That is how they view him. For anybody who thinks that these Christians think that like they ignore Donald Trump's behavior and they ignore the fact that he's absolutely not a Christian just because they want to get their shit done. But it's an interesting thing. Like we need to have non-Christians and people like Donald Trump in order to get our goals. Like I thought God was all powerful. What do you need Donald Trump for? Can't God just do it? Why didn't God just show up and be like, hey guys, it's me, God. These guys are right. Just listen to them. It's me. Watch me. I'll ascend back up into heaven. Here I go. Bye. And you'd be like, all right, maybe they're right.
He's really making them for a broader audience and for a younger audience.
Now, at this point, you might ask, where are all the women?
If you asked some of these guys where the women were, they would say they're at home, like taking care of the kids.
Godly women want to feed their men. Godly women are designed to make the sandwiches. When women were granted the right to vote, we were so muddled we thought we were giving the franchise to women when we were in fact taking it away from families.
And just for the record, I think the 19th Amendment should be repealed.
What's the franchise? What does that even mean? We were giving the franchise? What's the franchise? The way that these folks speak, and by the way, like I grew up with this. To my Mormon friends, and they'll say things like, oh, our women have a choice. They just choose this. Do they? Do they though? Because you told them that God, this is God's way. You've convinced them that this is their role. And they're staying there because that's their role. You know what's way easier, I have found personally, than being a parent is work. Work is way easier. Frankly, it's one of the things that men have done best is somehow we convinced women that we needed to be at work. And you guys need to be at home doing the harder part. I don't know how we did that. But I can't tell you the amount of friends I had that specifically like the bros, the serial investors, those are the ones. And now they're like evolving and they'll put out these videos. They're like, it's important to set time aside for everything. I've got my time for the gym in the morning. Then I'm hard at work, and I get home and I make sure I put my phone away for an hour so I can reconnect with my kid. It's like, yeah, you could have done. You can also do that if you just work like a normal person. Like you're out there trying to build all this wealth for your family, right? But you're really just avoiding your family. That's what you're doing. I can tell you that in my experience in corporate America, every single time I went to a corporate event, it was just a bunch of people trying to get away from their families. And we acted that way. I was married at the time, but I didn't have a child. And look, when we went to corporate events, we partied. That's what we did. That's how you did it. It was just a way to get away from your family. I never once came home from a corporate event and was like, I needed that to be better at my job or to be a better human. No, I just came home hungover every time. It's like, oh fuck, I made some bad decisions this weekend. That's what really happens at those corporate events.
I think that because, well, first and foremost, because I'm a Christian. If we had a Christian nation and women could vote, then within 50 years, we would no longer have a Christian nation.
They don't think that women should be in leadership roles. They don't think that women should be out there voicing.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Why do you think that the more women vote, the less Christianity is upheld? It's almost like it's not a good deal for them. It almost feels like it's not a good deal for them. And they're like, you know what? Fuck this. By the way, some people are saying, where can I get this video? Join our Discord. These are all, it's free. It doesn't charge you anything in our Discord. We'll be doing some events there in the near future. But yeah, all the links I share on the show are in our Discord. They also get Grindr at those events. they take Grindr down.
Voicing their opinions.
As we already know, Vance holds very particular views on gender.
If you bought into an idea that it's liberating to leave an 8-week-old baby to go work 90 hours a week at Goldman Sachs, you've been had.
You have women who think that truly the liberationist path
why is it okay for the... Do you understand what we're saying here? Like, if you choose to go back to work as a woman, it's bad. If you choose to go back to work as a man, it's great. But also, the same people are like, you know what's killing America is fathers not being in the home. Wait, do your kids get some special benefit if you sleep there at night? If you're gone all day long and you're working all day and you just sleep at the house at night, like, are your kids getting a benefit? This is the type of like loophole shit that I learned as a Christian, as a Mormon. right? As long as you like on the surface look like you're doing something important, then it's okay to neglect your family. I remember specifically taking jobs that worked where I had to work on Sunday because it's a sin to work on Sunday unless you absolutely have to. And so I kept trying to get jobs that worked on Sundays just so I didn't have to go to church. Like that was my loophole. And you know what jobs are on Sundays? All the shittiest ones. All the shittiest jobs are on Sunday. Well, I was willing to work a shitty job making less money just so I didn't have to go to church on Sunday because the social pressure and the pressure from your family is so severe that if you're not at church on Sunday and nobody knows that you're working, then you're just a heathen. And so not only would I find jobs that worked on Sunday, I was like, hey, everybody I could talk to, I'd be like, oh man, I guess I won't see you at church this Sunday. I got to work again. Oh, man, I wish there was something else for me. Never, I'd get offered jobs all the time. Just like, no, that doesn't work for me. I can't do that.
To spend 90 hours a week working in a cubicle at McKinsey instead of starting a family and having children. To me, what it is sort of a value system to replace the fact that they're all fundamentally atheist or agnostic. The people who are most deranged and most psychotic are people who don't have kids.
It's clear that they see J.D. Vance as someone who will help.
Oh, yeah? Is that what it is? But you guys remember, what was that lady's name in St. George that like had all her kids trapped? Had them like, it would wrap them up in duct tape, wouldn't let them out of the house. She seemed pretty crazy to me. I think that like if I was going to lose my mind, the chances of me losing my mind would go up. Ruby Franks, thank you. I would like if I had 12 kids, the chances of me losing my fucking mind go way up at 12. Way up. That's a crazy thing to say that like the most insane people are the ones who don't have kids. I think that's an absolutely insane thing to say.
Replace the fact that they're all fundamentally atheist or agnostic. The people who are most deranged and most psychotic are people who don't have kids.
It's clear that they see J.D. Vance as someone who will help further their vision of a country that puts Christianity above all else.
I think if these guys saw one of their collaborators in the White House, it would be proof to them that all of the effort that they have made, all of the time and money that has been invested, that it was all paying off.
There's so much more to this story, including connections to Project 2025, more about the web of J.D. Vance and Theo Bros that I can't even dream of touching on in a video like this. So go read Kira Butler's full piece at motherjones.com.
There you go. There's the link there from Kira Butler's. It's a while ago, from like November and December 20. Wait, oh, it's going to come out in the November 20 and December 2024 issue. Okay, great. I don't know if it's out yet. I just wanted to show you that. I don't know what's worse, a Theo Bro, or I like Theo Bros better than Phil Bros, frankly. But I think they're the same. I think they're exactly the same. They argue a theory. Like their theories have never been tested out and proven. And I think those types of debates are fun with your buddy. If you're just trying to figure out like if the world was perfect, what would it look like? And you and your buddy can like talk about what a perfect world looks like. But in practice, it makes no sense. They're both a waste of time, frankly. They really are. I've never seen a philosophical or theological debate that was helpful. And I've watched a lot of theological debates. I like them personally just because I enjoy watching Christians squirm when they're asked questions like, where was the worldwide flood? What happened to the worldwide flood? Why is there no evidence of a worldwide flood that was like 6,000 years ago? But that's just that to me, it's like a reality TV. It's about as useful as reality TV. I think it's silly, but people take it seriously. Somebody like, they bring J.D. Vance on there with no expertise, and he says crazy shit like everybody that's against us is a fundamental atheist, and the most miserable people are the people without children, and the most evil people are the people without children. It's crazy. Like, does Lindsey Graham have children? I don't think Lindsey Graham has children. Is he gonna go after Lindsey Graham there? I don't know. It's gross. Republicans are gross. Hey, Republicans, if you're here, you guys are gross. I can't wait for them to be taken. Hi, Mom. mom 3. There we go. It's the opposite, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely happier. I mean, I'm thrilled that I'm a dad. I love my daughter more than anything in the world. Have I become a much worse friend after having a daughter? 100%. 100%. I'm a worse friend after having a daughter. I don't care about most of them. I'm not one of those like friends that you rely on all the time, even after kids. Like I think I'm that friend that once I had kids, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna always be there for you. Like, I'm gonna choose her all the time. I like her better than everybody else. But I don't think I'm a better citizen, a better friend for having a child. I just choose my child. But it's a silly thing to say. God, am I really gonna do this again? I don't know if we have time. What is it? 12:22. All right, I'll try and get through this because a bunch of people have asked. So I'll try and get through this today. This is the school a lot of people asked about the school voucher system. There was a ProPublica article that came out July 16th. And we haven't covered it hardly at all, but I'm going to cover some of this. I just want you guys to see, like, some of you are in states like Ohio, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, I think Virginia, or South Carolina specifically. They are really pushing this school choice. And I just want you, I think Americans should know, what are the actual results? And this is what drives me nuts about conservatives in general. Like, they always say the same thing. Like, we're going to put our policies in place. And then when their policies fall apart and they don't work, they're like, oh, well, the problem was the other people. It wasn't that our policies didn't work. It was the other people. And I just wanted you to see, like, that's the pattern. In 2022, Arizona pioneered the largest school voucher program in the history of education. Under a new law, any parent in the state, no matter how affluent, could get a taxpayer-funded voucher worth up to tens of thousands of dollars to spend on private school tuition, extracurricular programs, and homeschooling supplies. Yet, in a lesson for these other states, Arizona's voucher experiment has since precipitated a budget meltdown. The state this year faced a $1.4 billion budget shortfall, much of which was the result of new voucher spending. This is according to Grand Canyon Institute, which is a local nonpartisan think tank. Last fiscal year alone, the price tag of universal vouchers in Arizona skyrocketed from an original official estimate of just under $65 million to $332 million. So remember that when we say that this is the estimate, Republicans said this is revenue neutral because the money is just leaving one school and going to another school. And it's going to be about $65 million. It was $332 million. Not even fucking close. What's that? They were off by 5x. 5x they missed it by. The Grand Canyon analysis also found another $429 million in costs is expected this year. And we'll get those numbers here at the end of the year. Among the funding, though, because now we've got a budget shortfall, so we've got to cut, we've got to slash spending. Among the funding slashed, $333 million of it was for water infrastructure projects. Our state doesn't have enough water. And we don't have part of the reason we don't have enough water is because our infrastructure is broken. It's very hot here. We have a lot of evaporation. In order to get the water from the mountains down to the valleys without it evaporating when it's 350 trillion goddamn degrees every day, we need better infrastructure, including, what do you call those underground waterways? I forget what they're called. But including taking our irrigation canals and making them underground. You guys can tell me what they're called. I can't remember. In a state where water scarcity will shape the future and tens of millions of dollars for highway expansions and repairs in congested areas of one of the nation's fastest growing metropolises, which is Phoenix and Maricopa County. Also nixed were improvements to the air conditioning in state prisons where temperatures can soar above 100 degrees. Aqueducts, thank you. Arizona's community colleges, too, are seeing their budgets cut by $54 million. Advocates for Arizona's universal health care voucher initiative had originally said that it wouldn't cost the public anything and might even save the taxpayers money. The Goldwater Institute, a conservative think tank that crafted the bill, claimed in its promotional materials at the time that the vouchers would save taxpayers thousands per student, millions statewide. Families that receive the new cash, the Institute said, would be educating their kids for less than it would cost taxpayers if they were in the public school system. But as it turns out, the parents most likely to apply for these vouchers are the ones who were already sending their kids to private school or homeschooling. They use the dollars to subsidize what they were already paying for. And what do you think those private schools and charter schools do once they get that extra funding? They raise the price. Just raise the price because they already know these parents can pay. So they'll raise the price even just a little bit. Those parents are paying less. They're paying some out of pocket, but the government is subsidizing their private education for their children that they could already afford. Right? And where is that money going to come from? Guess what? Infrastructure, education, the junior college program, which we have a really cool junior college program in Arizona. If any of you have lived here, like it's a really relatively cheap way to be educated. I think when I was in junior colleges here, I know it was something like $600 or $700 a semester at most. It was very affordable. Real quick messages. Sal said Lindsey Graham is a snapping turtle. Turtle. It might have been Mitch McConnell, but I like that. I like that idea. And by the way, guys, if you have any comments you want me to read before the end of the live, just get those in now before we're done. Cash App and Venmo above. I didn't change the gift goal. We're about $40. Say that my parents had been gladly paying my private school tuition because that's what was important to them, that I get a religious education. That's completely fine, says Chris Cotterman, who's the director of governmental relations for the Arizona School Board. But then the state said, "Oh, we'll be happy to pay for that." There's just no disputing that this cost the state more money. That's not how a budget works. Heading into this fall, which will bring both a new school year and an election that stands to remake American education, ProPublica is going to be examining the complexities, lessons, and failures of the nation's first universal school voucher program as a model for where the whole system seems to be headed. Arizona's program set the standard nationally and inspired a national movement. Remember that when Donald Trump's up there saying, like, we're going to do school choice, we're going to do vouchers, it's decimated Arizona. It's specifically poor people, but also everybody else. We are less likely to have access to water. We're less likely to have our infrastructure projects done. Our junior colleges now are underfunded. Our public education is now underfunded. Universal voucher efforts, beginning with the Arizona's Universal Empowerment Scholarship Account program in 2022, allowed parents to spend money, public money, not just on private school tuition, but also on recreational programs for their kids, like Ninja Warrior training, trampoline park outings, and ski passes, or on toys and home goods that they say they need for homeschooling purposes. The average ESA award is roughly $7,000. Imagine you're a family of 5, and you're homeschooling 5 children. You get $35,000 on average to homeschool your kids. And that can go if you want to pay for their ski passes. You want to pay for what else is trampoline parks, Ninja Warrior training, toys, home goods. And by the way, like, you know how hard that is to track? If we're going to go audit these people homeschooling, now we're talking about also funding the IRS to go audit all these folks. In a statement to ProPublica, a spokesman for former Republican Governor Doug Ducey, who signed the voucher program into law, said not only does Ducey have no regrets about ESA expansion, he considers it one of his finest achievements and a legacy accomplishment. And what he's most thrilled about is that Arizona's ESA expansion was followed by 11 other states doing the same thing. This is why I got a problem with Republicans. We're looking at the numbers. It's not working. But they can't ever admit that they're wrong. They're not allowed to do it. Or they're just trying to kill public education, and that's been the goal all along, which is what we accuse them of. But they're like, no. It's not about killing public schools. It's about school choice. It's killing public schools. Now 11 other states are jumping in. Ducey, as well as Matt Beinberg, the Goldwater Institute's director of education, blamed Arizona's budget crisis on, surprise, surprise, the Democrats and current Governor Katie Hobbs, pointing out that she signed a 2023 budget that spent down what was then a surplus instead of keeping the money in reserve for a possible moment like this. A budget that was passed by, spoiler alert, Republicans in Congress. Our Arizona State Senate and House is run by Republicans. It was theirs. The budget was passed with bipartisan support, but largely by Republicans. But they're going to blame Katie Hobbs because that's what Republicans do. When Republicans fund something or don't fund something, they just blame the governor or they blame the president. We've seen it now with FEMA. All these Republicans voted against funding for FEMA, and they're like, I can't believe, look at FEMA. FEMA's underfunded. Fuck Joe Biden. So it's all the same game plan every time. And that's why those of us who follow, we're like, all right, for a long time, I didn't want to believe in the conspiracy, but now it sure as shit seems like you're trying to get rid of the Department of Education. It sure as shit seems like you're trying to push us into Christian nationalism. Feels like it. Because like most of those schools, what are they? They're those charter schools, mostly religious. Most importantly, said Beth Lewis, who's the executive director of the public school advocacy group Save Our Schools in Arizona, only a small amount of the new spending on private schools and homeschooling is going toward poor children, which means that already extreme educational inequality in Arizona is being exacerbated. The state is 49th in the country in per pupil public school funding. That's hard to say. Per pupil public school funding. And as a result, year after year, district schools in lower income areas are plagued by some of the nation's worst staffing ratios and largest class sizes. Remember when Republicans were arguing that like class sizes was the problem, and then they were going to fund teachers, but then they didn't want to fund teachers? Remember that? So now let's go to Iowa. Iowa's like, yeah, Arizona's got this figured out. It's going really, really great. This is from Iowa Starting Line. Iowa's voucher program sold a dream that doesn't exist. Let me pop this up here. You can follow along. There's the title of the article there. Iowa's voucher program sold a dream that doesn't exist. Josh Cohen, a professor of education policy at Michigan State and author of the upcoming book Privateers, yada, 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 said what's happening in Iowa is the same as other states with similar programs. Historically, vouchers first and foremost pay for kids who are already in private schools, he said. This idea that these things provide these new avenues, the words they would use are hope and opportunity or lifeline from public schools, is just not how it plays out in reality. Overwhelmingly, kids are already in private school and or were never in public school in the first place. So kindergarten kids. And over time, that becomes even more true. There's just not a lot of crossover. In the first year of Iowa's voucher program, called the Students First Education Savings Accounts. Fucking these names. These names. Students First Education Savings Accounts. What does that mean? It means that we're going to give people more money to go to private Christian schools. Oh, okay. Didn't seem like that's what you're doing by the title. 66% of the 16,757 participants already attended private school. 66% were already in private school. They were already paying for private school. Furthermore, 21% of the voucher recipients were entering kindergarten students. So there's another 21% that's just people that weren't even in school. So it's possible those people were going to be going to private school anyways. Jay's reading, MAGA left alive. MAGA doesn't want to talk to me. It's about 70%, 75% in every state. Doesn't matter how big the state is, how small the state is. The demographics, about 70% of voucher users were already in private school. The Iowa's program's first year restricted access to students had a household income at or below 300% of the federal poverty guideline. That's an odd number. But that restriction will be raised to 400% in 2024-25 and then phased out entirely. So this is just like giving access to people that are 300% above the federal poverty level. So is that helping people in poverty? Not necessarily. You still got to be able to get your kids to go to that school. Good luck with that. How are you going to get them there? Something Cohen said not a lot of people hone in on is that even with the restrictions in place, most Iowa families still qualified for a voucher. The maximum income limit for a family of 4 in the first year of the voucher was $90,000, and the median income for that same family was $103,000. You put the word poverty in there, and it sounds like a poverty program. It's not. An anti-poverty program would be like 175% or 200%. But again, we're at 300%, then going to 400%, then there's not going to be any restriction. You start to give above the 250 and 300, especially about 350, then you were talking about most Iowans eligible for this thing. It really is just a universal program disguised. They may as well have just said everybody's eligible, honestly, which they will be in a couple years. The larger the voucher program has gotten and the more recent it was passed, we see some of the largest academic declines in the history of education research. Not just in vouchers, out of any topics for kids who do transfer from public to private school. He said the test score drops for kids switching from public to private because of vouchers are comparable to the academic drop-offs after Hurricane Katrina and the COVID-19 pandemic. How many people do we have? You masked children and you took them out of school and their numbers went down, their testing numbers. Well, it also happened with school vouchers. Those are natural disaster comparisons. This is not a natural disaster. It's a Republican disaster. In Indiana, voucher students experienced achievement loss in mathematics in their first year of private school, and the loss persisted regardless of the length of time spent in private school. So it doesn't even catch up. Ohio State's fared worse on state exams compared to their closely matched peers remaining in public school. Oh, thank God. Thank God Republicans want to put the 10 Commandments in school. That'll fix it. It's rare in education policy research to find something that truly did harm, Cohen said. Usually we call a policy a failure if it just doesn't have an impact. It doesn't help the kids the way we promised it would, but it doesn't hurt them. Vouchers absolutely hurt the kids who transfer. For the most part, we're talking about church-based schools, what I call subprime providers. Sorry, that makes me laugh. Financially distressed organizations often, again, attached to churches. They are financially distressed for a reason. They're not very good. So churches see this as an opportunity. They're like, fuck, we're bleeding money. How can we get money? Boom. We're going to school. We're going to create a school. Now we'll save our church. By the way, my child goes to a pre-K school. It's run by a church. We've never got anything for a voucher, so I don't know. Maybe we're eligible for a voucher. But you know what I know about all the kids that go there? All the ones I know, none of them go to church. Not one of them. And the ones I do know that go to church, none of them go to that church. Most of them, like me and the mother of my child, like we don't go to church at all. We're not believers in God, right? But it's cheap, and so we can go there. But the church needs the money. Cohen argues that the true goal of most of these religious educational institutions is to build out their congregations and make money. We know from Wisconsin research that over time, vouchers actually become an important source of revenue, not just for the church school, but for the church itself to which the school is attached. The Wisconsin legislature allocated more than $700 million to vouchers in its most recent biennial budget, and 96% of the schools receiving those funds were private religious schools. Cohen also noticed the private school tuition hikes in Iowa. If this was all about hope, opportunity, and access, these private schools wouldn't be raising the tuition. Remember I said in Arizona, like they get the money, then they raise tuition because parents still have money and they want more money? That's the tell. That's the tell this thing is about bailing out these churches. The academics also show for it. So not only are we failing our children by giving them a worse education, but we're also propping up churches and costing poor kids a better education and costing the taxpayers millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And we're telling teachers, fuck you. We're telling teachers, you know what, that education you paid for, all that time you spent getting no money, well, great news, just any mom and dad in the world can do that. Your job is so easy that these homeschooled parents can do it. And then last, this was from, oh shit, that's the wrong, what happened there? It's a Wayfair article? This is not what I meant. That's weird. Where did I even get this article? I don't know where I got that. This article was supposed to be an article that finds the cost to operate ESA program will double in coming years. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to that actual link. But there was something about Wayfair. The Republicans in the chat are thrilled. Like, Wayfair? Do you guys remember that when the Wayfair thing that was going around that they were actually selling children instead of furniture? Do you remember that? And because some of the items had like the name, it was like they were all named, and then people were like, "Look, we found a missing person with the same first name." It's like, yeah, you know how many missing people there are in this country? A lot of missing people in this country. Paolo says Trump. Trump held Puerto Rico hurricane aid. He didn't care. Google it. That's true. Yeah. Trump withheld hurricane aid from Puerto Rico, and I think this was when I first started. He had a dispute with, I want to say, a mayor. It might have been a mayor. I don't remember who it was in Puerto Rico, but she criticized him, and so he's like, "I'm not giving aid to them. They criticize me." Here we go. Thank you, Jen. Jen found the actual article that I was looking for. Audit finds cost to operate ESA program to double in coming years. A new state auditor's report says the cost of running Iowa's educational savings accounts are expected to double in coming years. State Auditor Rob Sands said the increase is due to a revised contract between the Iowa Department of Education and Odyssey. That's the company that runs the ESA program. Bottom line here is the cost to Iowa taxpayers for the administration of the school vouchers program has doubled. Well, thank God, Iowa. Shout out Iowa. Yours only doubled. Ours 5x'd here in Arizona. Ours only went up 5x. You guys doubled. Good job, Iowa. In April 2023, Odyssey was chosen as the administrator and entered into a 3-year contract with the Iowa Department of Education and of Administrative Services. An additional $100,000 per year fee was included, but it was not in the original proposal for services. The original contract with Odyssey was supposed to cost $682,000 and then $729,000 in the second year and the following years. By fiscal year, the amended contract's fees would be $852,000 based on the estimates. That's great. So it was supposed to be $100,000 was supposed to be their fee, but it's $682,000, $729,000, and $852,000. The Legislative Services Agency estimated the fiscal impact of the ESA program in fiscal years 2024, 25, 26, 27 and this is, again, the cost to the state. 2024, we're looking at $106 million. 2025, $156 million. 2026, $313 million. And 2027, $341 million. That money's got to come from somewhere. They're going to cut your budgets. Anybody in a red state that is thinking school choice is good, enjoy getting the rest of your budgets cut. Enjoy your infrastructure being cut. If you have kids in public education, I hope you enjoy them being in a class of 70, 80, 90 kids with a teacher that's completely stressed out and overworked and not making a goddamn thing. Republicans lie to you guys. They lie all the time. And every single time, it turns out they're just trying to force their religion on us. Every fucking time. They don't give a shit about your kid's education. What they care about is that your kid believes in Jesus. And if kids aren't believing in Jesus, well, then we better get the Jesus folks involved so the Jesus folks can convince your children. Guess what? Kids aren't going to believe in Jesus if their parents don't. I know that. I've never once ever in my entire life talked to my daughter about the existence of Jesus. Not once. She goes to school every day, and twice a week they go to chapel, and they learn about Jesus, and we let her. We're just like, yeah, learn your thing. Tell us what you think. And I asked her the other day, I was like, do you like chapel? She's like, no. I'm like, why not? This was my favorite story. She said, it's boring. I was like, why is it boring? She's like, because it's not even good like the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy. Like there's no good story that comes along with it. She liked the fun stories that go along with the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy. But Jesus doesn't leave anything under your pillow. Jesus never left a basket of goodies. And it's hard for me because I don't want to I don't want to force my views on her because views were forced on me. So that's my own childhood trauma. But the story doesn't make any sense. That's the real problem. The real problem Christians have is your story doesn't make any sense. And people can believe it and live good lives and let other people not live it, or you can try and force it. Shout out to all the Christians here today that believe in Jesus. I hope you don't feel like I'm mocking you. I'm not. I think you guys would all also recognize that your beliefs require faith, and that's fine. But shout out to all the Christians who show up and vote for other people's rights over their own wishes all the time. I can't say enough about the great Christians on our side of the aisle who set aside their religious beliefs for the good of the people. I love it. We played that clip of I don't remember who it was, of that pastor just absolutely eviscerating the Christians who think they get to just force their beliefs on everybody else. So shout out to the Christians here for that. Because if you were Christian and you were here and you didn't think other people could live their lives, you probably would have left by now. You wouldn't listen to me anymore. All right, let me check one last run through of the comments, make sure I didn't miss any. Somebody said, let me look. Somebody said that they had comments come through on Friday and we didn't read them. Let me look at the Friday dates and see if there was any that I missed. I didn't see any. They've all been clicked on. If you have comments that you sent on Friday and they didn't get read out, let me know. We may have a problem where they're not coming through to me because I'm looking for the ones on Friday. A couple people had reached out and no, I don't see any on Friday that didn't get read. So I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. But reach out to me if that happened to you. Sully says, if you masturbate on a plane, do they charge you with hijacking? That's a good question. That's the only kind of jacking I do is hijacking. Not on a plane usually, but I don't think I've ever done that on a plane. Have you guys done that on a plane? I don't know. That's gutsy. I don't have the guts for that. Those people, I don't have the guts for that. Thank you, Sully. All right, guys, that's it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. Listen, TMI, welcome to here. Okay, welcome to here. We do TMI. I'm an oversharer. I'm a former Christian who was shamed about sex his entire life, and I have ADHD. So not only am I trying to be more honest, but I'm also an oversharer. So get used to that. Yeah, no Trumpers today. I'll be back tomorrow morning and then tomorrow night with Jeffrey. I think tomorrow night with Jeffrey. I got to double check on that. We'll be going. $20 is $20. That's right. But you can catch the replay of today's show on YouTube at RTP-Talks. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. The link is in my bio. And Jen fixed it. I think the link went to please share. I have to get permission from my husband. He still says no. RT, please share. Make it flood again. Yeah, we could do that. What am I sharing? What are you guys saying right now? Why am I being objectified right now? What did I miss? Welcome to here. Thank you. What are you guys talking about? I may start doing my own debates at night. We'll see. I thought going with Jeff would bring more people, and it is, but I am getting sick of the same. Jesus Christ, chat. I'm getting a little tired of the same stuff. The way I look at it is, I'll do it through November. I may do more debates. I also have a charity event. Actually, let me look real quick. We prefer you do. I know. Look, I know that. The thing about Jeff is, one, I do find him funny, and two, it allows me to not just sit there the whole time and be required to talk. I can take breaks, but I do want to let you guys know about one other thing I'm going to be involved with. They messaged me this morning. There we go. All right. If any of you guys know Confronting Chaos, she's putting together an event. Let me just tell you kind of what the event is. Oh, shit. This is today. Oh my God, I need to message her back. All right, you'll see me again later today. Let's see. Shit, I didn't even realize it was today. All right, you guys are going to see me later today. Let me tell you about the event that Confronting Chaos is doing. It's a 12-hour TikTok marathon featuring leftist creators, all with the goal of encouraging voter registration for the upcoming presidential election. Each creator will have 15 to 30-minute slot on a topic. So she's probably live now. On a topic you're passionate about, whether it's social justice, environmental issues, healthcare, or anything close to your heart. It's a great opportunity to share your message, promote your platform, and get people excited. I don't know who all is involved, but I guess you guys are going to be seeing me later today for 30 minutes. In the meantime, it looks like she's live, so maybe we should raid her. Jen, can you get the username? Looks like this event went live at 10. I'm so sorry. I never looked at the date, and I need to apologize to her because I forgot. Jen, will you pin the name? Confronting Chaos 2. There you go. And then can we pin that? At Confronting Chaos 2. I know Jones was doing it. Who else did she tell me for sure? I think U.S. Army vet. Who else was involved? They might have already gone today. I can't believe I didn't know that was today. Jen even sent this to me this morning, and I didn't even register in my head that this was today. Where did it go? To go to the top. There we go. It's weird how if you click on something, it goes to the top. Who else was there? RJ, Tim Powell, Mandy, Mr. Jones, many others. Sounds like, and then again, US MC Angry Vet is there today. All right, so head on over there, guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning. You'll see me at some point tonight. I'll get a hold of them. But let's go raid Confronting Chaos. Just say RTP raid, and I'll message her right now, and I'll let you guys know in the Discord what time I'm going to go live. Like I said, it's 15 to 30 minutes. Other than that, replays on YouTube. You can catch me there. I can't wait to see you guys all tomorrow morning. Thank you for the support, for the gifts, for the subscriptions. I love what we're doing. I love this movement. I'm looking forward to growing this. I'm looking forward to doing some different type of journalism stuff post election, but right now focus on the election. If you're in Arizona, check your voter registration right fucking now. If you're not in Arizona, check your voter's registration right fucking now. Make sure you're registered, and anybody that's your friend, send them a message right now. Everybody should send one friend a message right now. Say, are you registered to vote? If they say no, help them register to vote, unless they're a Republican. If they're Republicans, tell them, I checked your voter registration. You are registered, and your voting date is November 23rd. And make sure they show up on November 23rd to vote. And just give them an address. They won't know. It'll be fine. Nobody will know. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later today. And then if I don't see you later today, I will see the rest of you tomorrow. Stay cute and cool. Have a great